friends, are you ready?
We're lady.
Welcome to Idol Days, the show about idol animes. I'm Star.
I'm Sarah, and I'm also going to introduce my best girl.
Whoa!
Once a year, I rise from my tomb in order to talk about spooky idol anime.
It's my wife!
Oh my goodness, Sarah's wife is joining us for the episode as our very first ever special guest of the podcast.
Hello, I'm Athena.
We thought she would be the best choice because she's super goth.
Yep, goth for spooky month.
And also my wife.
And also your wife.
And also I like spooky stuff, so we're good.
Yeah, that's good. I'm so excited, you guys. Team Ass is together at last.
Yeah! Team Ass!
Athena, Sarah, Star. It's Team Ass. Here we go.
I'm so excited.
Athena, would you like to tell our audience about yourself a little bit before we get started?
Yeah, so I don't have nearly as much idol experience as you two, but you actually introduced me to idol anime. So I met Sarah in college, and since you two were roommates, I obviously met you both around the same time. And yeah, I'm really, really excited. I've recently started getting more into idol stuff, playing more idol gacha games and watching more anime because of Sarah. And yeah, I'm just really excited to get more involved with the podcast and help out wherever I can.
Heck yeah.
So she joined us for the last day of Cursed October. So Athena, do you want to tell them what we're going to be talking about?
So today we're actually going to be talking about my absolute favorite idol show, which is Zombieland Saga.
Whoa!
Who would have seen it coming?
Who would have seen it coming? Yeah, especially not from looking at the title of the episode.
Absolutely no one could have guessed this. No.
Yes, but no, I'm really, really excited. The show means a lot to me personally, and it's absolutely amazing. Everyone should watch it, whether or not you like idol shows. It's just amazing and brilliant. So yeah, I'm really excited to talk about it.
Heck yeah! So, do we want to jump right into it, I guess, or do we want to talk more about the show first? How do we want to do this? I just did a Matt Mercer reference, I'm sorry.
How do you want to do this?
I did.
How would you like to kill each of the individual girls?
Well, funny thing about that, first, I would like to use a truck.
That's first episode.
I would like lightning, please. Thank you.
Which happens multiple times, actually. It's weird. More times than you would think.
Mm-hmm.
If I had a nickel every time someone got hit with lightning in the show, I would have 2 nickels, which is not much, but it's weird that it's happened twice.
I was going to say that same shit. You stole my reference I was going to make.
It's a
How
top
dare
tier
you?
reference. Yeah, we can talk more about the show, or we can jump right in. It's really up to you.
Yeah, we can talk about, like, the opening, like, a little bit. So,
Sure.
The show kind of came out of nowhere a couple years ago.
Came out like that truck.
Right out of nowhere.
Just like Truck-kun.
Just like Truck-kun, yes, exactly. But yeah, so this show was not based on a manga or a light novel or any previously existing franchise. It just happened as an anime. And a lot of people were like, zombie idols, how is that gonna work? And the answer is, it works amazingly.
Yeah, pretty well. Even the previews for this were just like nothing. It told you absolutely nothing about the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'd like to add, before Zombieland Saga came out, there was a lot of speculation because people weren't sure what the show was. I don't think people knew until the first episode that it was going to be an idol show. Mm-hmm. Or that the main characters would be the zombies.
Yeah, because just like the preview for this was just like super creepy and like a lot of like weird backgrounds and stuff, but it didn't really tell you anything except the name of the show. It was like, I was excited, but I had no idea what it was going to be.
Yeah. I honestly do not remember what my first exposure to this show was. I'm not sure if I ever watched any of the previews because if it wasn't advertised as an idol anime, it probably flew under my radar if I'm being honest. But yeah, so this show came out a couple years ago. Maybe I think 2017-ish?
2018.
2018, yeah.
2018, okay,
well,
yeah.
Previews started in 2017, I think. But yeah, 2018.
I just remember I was in Japan when this show got popular because I remember watching episodes under the kotatsu in my chilly ass apartment.
Aw, memories.
But yeah, so we should talk about the girls first though.
Yeah, let's get into the girls.
Girls.
Yes.
So, I guess we can start just by order. We want to talk about Sakura first?
Yes, pink. Sarah, you should talk about Sakura because she's your favorite.
Yes, I love Sakura. So Sakura, she has middle, over the shoulder length, pinkish, maroonish hair. Mm-hmm. And she, I guess backstory wise, she's kind of the first character we get introduced to, right? So she's like a happy-go-lucky girl for the most part. She always wanted to be an idol, so she
big main character
big
energy.
main character energy. She has a little side ponytail with like some ribbons that are like pink and blue and polka dotted. She's cute.
Very cute.
Yeah.
Her character color is pink because of course it is.
Because of course it is.
She's the leader, so she's the pink one.
Well, she's not the leader, but she is the center.
She's the main character.
She's the main character.
Main character energy.
Big main character energy. Star, do you want to talk about your favorite?
I have too many. That's impossible.
That's true.
You guys, I have such an issue deciding on a favorite character for this show because, like,
the problem is, like, everybody's so good.
They're all good.
They're all good beans.
They're all good.
But I mean, I have 3 that I really, really enjoy that I would consider my top tier girls. I think the next most relevant in terms of story would be
Yes.
So she is the kind of like navy blue is her character color. She's got like this just above shoulder length navy blue hair that's got like flowers just in it always. I don't know if they're hair clips or what, or if she just glued them into her hair.
They look like hair clips, honestly.
Yeah, she just got like these little flowers in her hair at all times. So her backstory is like she was a member. We should mention all the girls in this show are dead for various reasons. And
it's called Zombieland Saga because they're all dead and resurrected.
Yeah, and so like they are a zombie idol group, but them being zombies is a secret. But basically all of these girls have their own separate little backstories. And we'll get more into them as we talk about the show because they do have like subtle reveals of like how the girls died and what impact that had on them, etc. Ai's backstory is that she was the leader of a very popular idol group. And now she is in this new idol group, which means that she is one of the 2 girls who is more experienced. And so she kind of takes on the role of mentor for some of the other girls, which is a character trope that I like, which is why she is one of my top faves. The other more experienced idolu is Junko. She's kind of like her character color is like kind of a gray purplish.
Yeah, she's got white hair.
Yeah, she has white hair with like that's kind of like fluffy around her chin, but then she has like these 2 really, really skinny little ponytails or pigtails that like go down to about her knees, I think. Her hair makes 0 sense, but it's fine because it's
absolutely
anime.
No sense.
She's from the 80s. We just call it an 80s style.
Yeah, but yeah, so she was a solo idol in the 80s. That's kind of what her backstory is, and so she's very kind of like quiet and reserved. But there's a big fucking reason that she is one of my favorites, and we will talk about it when we get to that episode. And then best girl number 3.
Do you like to talk about Saki?
I would love to talk about Saki.
I knew it.
Saki's been my go hard or go home girl since day 1. The other 2 kind of joined her up on the top tier position as the show went on, but just I love the biker girl aesthetic so much.
Good.
She's
so good. She's blonde, she angry, she has ponytail, she's a biker girl. It's like the creators of the show looked at all my favorite character tropes and went, let's make something that Star will love. And then they birthed Saki from their brains, and I'm like, I love you!
Just all of her stuff is just so powerful. Like, I love the way that she talks even. It's just so... Oh, she's so powerful.
Super Bancho.
She's just like constantly screaming a little bit, which is like relatable.
Oh no, it's so good.
But yeah, so she is very easy to spot on like a group lineup. She is blonde hair with green and orange highlights, which is a look. But she's just got like this fucking huge ponytail that like goes down to the floor. It's very powerful, and her thing is like she's a fucking motorcycle gang leader, and she has very powerful, very intimidating like Yankee energy.
Like super Bancho, it's so good.
It's like, what are you looking at, punk?
You want to die?
You want to die?
Oh, it's so good. She's constantly talking about how they're going to take over all of Japan.
Yeah,
Yep.
and she's like, my biker gang took over all of Japan when I was alive, and now that I'm dead, our idol group is gonna take over all of Japan. Hooah! And everyone's like, I don't know what you're talking about, but
So
okay.
good.
Okay.
I love her.
She is so good. I love Saki.
Mhm.
But yeah, so those are my top 3 girls, so someone else should talk about the rest because I've been talking too long.
All
Sorry.
right, now we're going to talk about the actual best girl, which is Yugiri.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know. I'm just
Hot
going to jump right
takes.
into it. I know. So Yugiri was...
I fucking knew Yugiri would be your favorite.
Of course,
like,
that's
looking at
'cause
this
she
cast,
is.
and I'm like, which one of these has big, thick titty energy? That one's
Don't
gonna
call
be
me out like
Athena's
this on the
favorite.
first episode, okay? So she was a courtesan from the Meiji era, yeah, and she is probably the most experienced person who's coming in, because it's like hinted later on that she knows more of what's going on than everybody else, but we'll get into that. She slaps sense into people sometimes when it's not actually needed, but she's great.
Most of the time when it's not actually needed.
Most of the time when it's not actually needed, but she gives the big slap, and it's great.
I have a interjection right here. It's a very
Yes.
important thing. So they said that Yugiri is from the Meiji Restoration era, aka like right before also the Bakamatsu
Yes.
era.
I was gonna make this
Why?
up. I was gonna bring this up. She might know
Do
the
you
people
think-
from Bakamatsu Rock.
She might know them. What if? Okay, what if?
What if?
That's where she learned about idols in the past.
no.
From these samurai
That's how she knows
boys.
about idols.
Exactly.
This is why she just accepts everything as it comes along. Everyone else is like, I don't know, this is so weird, and like kind of like rails against all the weird stuff that's happening. She just kind of rolls with it because she's been through this.
She's like, I've seen this shit before. Nothing
She's
can
dealt
faze
with it.
me
It's
anymore.
fine.
So that's the Idoluminati for the beginning.
That's
right
the
here.
Idoluminati
We're already
for
in
the
it.
show.
Illuminati confirmed.
Confirmed.
Jesus Christ, we're not even 10 minutes into the episode
No.
and you guys are trying to kill me.
Yes. Well, yeah,
Oh,
that way you
God,
can
I
be a
just-
zombie.
Unintentional puns.
Yes.
Glorious.
Yes.
Welcome to Dead Idol Jokes October.
I'm already dead, so you gotta join me.
Hey, we're dead inside.
Yay.
Yes, dead
Nice.
inside. Yay. And so other best person in the show is Lily Hoshikawa, who is also great. She is tiny, adorable, like child star actor, and she is amazing and wonderful. And we'll talk about her more when we get to her episode. But
Oh, yeah.
we'll do a deep dive into like everybody. But we're giving like a
Yeah.
like a surface level of all the characters. But
Yeah.
she is the eternal like best character who's like constant, sparkly, happy, full of energy, like star child who is amazing and wonderful, and I love her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's just got like these big blue pigtails.
Oh yeah, and she's got like star patterns on like her hair and like the everything that's going on. She's got a couple of ribbons and everything. She's small. She's great. I love her.
And she talks like this. I'm Lily.
She's adorable.
She's
She's an
adorable.
itty
and
bitty
I love
baby.
her.
She is so small you could just pick her up and hold her.
Yes. No, she is like small, like one hand pick upable size. She's great.
And I am going to introduce the last two characters because they have big chaotic energy, and I
Please do.
also have big chaotic energy.
No, I saved them
Bless
for
us
you.
with your knowledge, Sarah.
So, the last of the idol girls is the legendary Yamada Tae.
Legendary Amadatai! Da-da-da-da-da!
Legendary.
Legend.
She
Legend.
is tall. She's the tallest of all of them. She has long black hair. And also she is she's just legendary. She's
She's
tall, she's
legendary Yamada
legendary.
Tai. That's all you need
Yes.
to know.
What else is there to say about the legendary Yamada Tai?
We all know everything about her.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
She is definitely the most developed character out
She
of this
is the
entire
most
show.
developed character.
Well, she's the one with the biggest, everybody knows about her already because she's legendary.
Exactly. So we're gonna move on.
And we're gonna move on from there. And then the last character is their manager slash producer slash mad scientist. I guess.
It's not really well explained. He's the producer. That's all we really need to know.
Yeah, so he's Kotaro and he's wild. He wears like a long
way to
sleeve shirt, like a button up white shirt with a vest over it.
Sarah, he looks like he works at a movie theater.
He really does. He wears like these dark sunglasses all the time.
He's got like a jacket just like draped over his shoulders.
Yeah, like it's a cape. Yeah.
He's very dramatic. He's great.
He is extremely dramatic. At least in Japanese, most of the time he's yelling.
Oh, no, listen. Okay, so you guys watched the Japanese version. I actually, since this was a rewatch for me, I actually watched the English dub, which is fantastic, by the way. And Kotaro's voice actor in the English version is phenomenal. Like, the spirit of the original lives on perfectly with this guy.
I'm so happy.
It kind of reminds me of, like, have you guys seen the Panty and Stocking dub where it's like, it was funny in Japanese, but now that it's in a language I actually speak, it's even fucking funnier?
I have not seen the dub.
Not.
Oh, it's okay. Well, that's another show you guys gotta watch. It's weird, but it's not an idol show, so we're not gonna go into it. But basically, like, just because, like, when the localization team did an amazing job with the show because some of the jokes just land so well. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. If anyone who's listening to this, if you haven't watched the dub, I would highly recommend it, because, like, you're gonna want to do a rewatch after listening to this episode, so hey, go watch the English version. It's on Funimation. We are not paid to say that. I'm dub trash, and if there's a good dub for me to watch, I would much rather watch that.
Oh, subs v dubs.
That's completely understandable.
Yes, subs v dubs, because, listen, I want to look at the cute girls, not read text underneath cute girls, if given the option.
Both is good.
So what you're telling me is that you need to get good.
Excuse him? Okay.
Sam's fighting words. And the one last, not actually a character, but an important thing for Zombieland Saga is Saga itself.
Mm-hmm.
Saga really is the heart of this.
It's really the heart of the show, because Saga is a real-life Japanese prefecture.
Yep.
And it's largely rural farming. Not a high population, does not house many of the major metropolises in Japan.
Yeah. It's down in Kyushu, which is like the little island at the southern end of the bean.
Yes.
The Japan bean. There's not a lot down there.
And the overall goal of the show is that they are trying to save Saga.
And how they do that is big fucking shrug. Like, we're gonna save Saga.
Yup. End goal.
End goal. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You are kind of forgetting the most important character, though.
Oh, shoot. You're right.
Yeah, you are forgetting
dog?
Romero.
That was
Thank
cursed.
Welcome
to Cursed October, guys.
Welcome to Sarah's Cursed Stuffing.
Well, no, so Romero is a zombie dog?
Yeah, he's like a zombie poodle that constantly changes whether he's drawn super seriously or like as an SD character.
And his voice actor is obviously a human. Like, it's not even like they're trying to be like a dog.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's also Kotaro's voice actor.
Also, he eats squid.
Yeah,
yes.
Well, all the zombies eat squid. That's just what zombies eat.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, Kotaro always has, like, squid hanging out of his pocket, and so he, like, feeds the squid to the dog.
Yeah.
And there's a really funny gag in the first episode when the first time he does it, there's, like, a little subtitle underneath
It's
that
a
says,
PSA,
please do not feed squid to dogs. It's very good.
But yeah, Romero is great because sometimes he's drawn, like, a super terrifying, like, Cujo-esque dog, and sometimes he's a tiny little, like, bobblehead. It's great.
Yep.
And he's named after George A. Romero, basically the progenitor of modern zombie movies.
Wait, you serious?
Yeah, that's what he's named after.
I
That's why he's named
love it!
Romero.
Of course you would know that.
Of course!
She's the spooky one. Of course she knows.
Have you not seen Night of the Living Dead?
Incredible.
I have not seen most things.
Alright, well, we're having a movie night after this instead.
Yay!
Shall we get into it?
Yes.
Let's frickin' do this shit. Episode 1.
So it's a beautiful day, a beautiful morning, and Sakura is getting ready. She's all bright and sparkly eyes. She's all happy because today she's finally doing it. She's going to go out and she's going to mail out our, I guess, application to this iDOL agency, and she's full of hope and wonder and joy.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely nothing could go wrong on a morning this beautiful, honestly.
Oh, no.
No, nothing
not.
at all.
Fine.
So she takes her little thing, and one other thing I would like to mention is she's, like, watching a video of this idol group called Iron Frill, who we will hear more about later.
Dun-dun.
And she's like, wow, I was so inspired to be an idol, and now I'm gonna finally do it. I'm gonna be an idol. And she runs out of her house, excited to go drop off her application, and suddenly...
Truck-kun.
Truck-kun! The other hidden character in the show!
It's Truck-kun!
The reoccurring character in many an anime.
The hidden message of the show is to always look both ways before you cross the street.
Yep, so she runs out, like, she's barely past the gate of her home, and we just get, like, a bunch of slow-mo shots. It's like this fucking truck just slams into her, and she goes flying.
Slow-mo, multiple camera angles, like, you see her just, like, back arcing across the top of the car. It's pretty brutal.
Mm-hmm. Like, they didn't want to show off the actual opening in the first episode, and so their version of the opening is, like, this different, like, kind of screamo metal zombie song playing over, like, repeated shots of her getting hit by the truck and her body just flying from different angles. It's, for, like, a minute and a half, it's a big first impression, honestly.
Like, the background is changed to be, like, super dark and creepy with, like, ink blot backgrounds. It's a lot. It's a bit of a tone change.
Yeah, from the sparkly anime idol first episode, running out of the house with my idol application. Boom, motherfucker, not today!
Rip.
It's amazing.
Literally,
I don't know who they got to do, like, the scream metal in the background, but it's intense.
Yep.
So then Sakura wakes up. But she's in a spooky house.
Oh.
And not only is the house spooky, but there's some zombies there.
And not only are there zombies, there's multiple references to horror movies and the Resident Evil games.
Hey.
Like, I didn't think about it until you mentioned it, but yeah, this definitely Resident Evil 1 vibes. Like
some of the camera angles and the way that they've done stuff and, like, things crashing through the windows, it's like, wait, I've seen this.
I've seen this before.
There's a nerd working on this. No, like, it's actually really good. Like, it's genuinely creepy as she goes through the house, and, like, suddenly zombies are popping up out of nowhere and start chasing after her. And, like, she has to fight some off and, like, hit them with a fireplace poker. And...
So Sakura, she's trying to run, and she's running and running. The zombies are chasing her, like a whole horde of zombies. And she's able to leave the house, finally, but it's raining.
Mm-hmm. So she runs outside into the rain, and she sees a sign for Saga Prefecture. And she's like, why am I in Saga? What's going on? And then this other recurring character, who does not matter, he's just there for comedy relief. He's like this sleazy cop, kind of.
He raps.
He raps later. Right now, he's just kind of creepy. He's, like, walking up to her. He's like, hey, little girl, you shouldn't be outside in the rain. Yo, what the fuck? And he sees her, and he freaks out, and he shoots her.
In the head?
In the chest, actually.
Oh, it was in the chest this time. That's right.
Yeah.
Yes. Which is great because, you know, people get shot in Idolmaster and some other anime, but this one...
Idolluminati.
Idolluminati confirmed.
Guns in our idol anime, episode 1.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so she gets shot, but nothing happens, and then she, like, catches a glimpse of herself in, like, a street mirror, and she's like, she looks, like, super zombie, and she's like, oh, what the fuck? And she passes out.
Yeah, because she looked fine earlier, but now she has blue skin and, like, this giant scar down the middle of her forehead and dead eyes, and yeah.
Yep. And then the cop is still freaking out, and then he gets whacked in the back of the head with a shovel, and Kotaro appears!
Dun dun dun.
And then we fade to black.
Dun dun.
So she wakes up back in the mansion, and she does realize she is a zombie now. And she's like, oh my god, I'm a zombie now, what the fuck happened?
And then Kotaro's like, hey, you died 10 years ago. I resurrected you. You're gonna be an idol and save Saga. Also, these other girls are also gonna be idols.
And this is where he introduces all the different girls and what they're legendarily good at, such as, like, the legendary courtesan, Yugiri, and the legendary 80s idol, which is Junko, and so on and so forth, including the legendary Yamada Tai.
The legendary Yamada Tai! But yeah, so the other girls, what's different about them, though, is that they are zombies. They are acting like zombies. They're literally just, like, walking around the room just kind of, like, moaning ominously, whereas Sakura has full control of her facilities, and she's like, Nani the fuck?
Yeah, she's the only one who's quote-unquote awakened.
Yeah.
And the only way that you can really control the other zombies is through squid.
Yes.
Yeah.
He feeds them squids.
They're crazy about squid.
Everybody knows that idols love squid.
I think that's zombies, I don't know.
Idol zombies.
Idol zombies. I get them confused.
Some idols.
One or the other.
Hey, there we go, Sarah. So, he says, he's like, because the other girls haven't awakened, I figure the best way to wake up a bunch of zombie idols is to put on a live show. So we have a live show tonight!
Yay!
Just the way he says things, it's so powerful.
Tonight.
Yeah, I believe that, like, his Japanese voice actor is, like, a very, very prolific voice actor.
I'm pretty sure he's done, like, a bunch of things, but I'd have to look it up.
Yeah. It's like Mamoru Miyano, I think is his name. He's a very prolific voice actor. And they just let him go ham with this one, and it's fucking great.
No, they just kind of let him loose in the booth. It's great.
Yeah.
I think in, like, some of the appearances he's done during when they were filming, so, like, they do interviews, and he's dressed up as Kotaro during the interviews
the
and stuff.
energy is extremely good.
It's so powerful.
So we cut to the venue, and it's like a live stage, but it's a metal show
called Night Fest.
Night Fest.
And Kotaro was like, this was the only place we could get with an open mic, so you know.
Go have fun. Do your best out there.
Yep.
So literally they get on stage. They've all got their little idol outfits on, which are basically, at this point, t-shirts and pants with numbers on them.
We should mention their makeup, though.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Kotaro is an expert makeup artist.
He is an expert makeup artist and can instantly make them look completely human.
Yep. And so all the girls don't look like zombies. They've got just a gratuitous amount of, like, stage makeup on, and so they actually look alive now.
Yeah, they're fine. This is fine.
They're fine. They're still acting like zombies, though, except for Sakura.
So she gets up on stage, she's got the microphone, she's like, hello, yes, we're Death Musume, which is their name at this point. Kotaro gave it to them, and the rest are just sort of walking around, moaning in the background, nothing going on.
And there's, like, a bunch of Metalhead fans in the audience, like, just shut up and sing already,
No one cares!
Notably, there are two specific metalheads that are reoccurring characters.
Yes.
One of them's like, he's a chubby guy and he's like Jimmy Neutron hair with like some lightning
bolts. He's got little lightning bolts on the side of his head, yeah.
And the other guy looks like he could be a zombie because he's like super pale, like sunken cheekbones,
he's a really tall,
hair.
thin Kiss member. So.
And in the dub, they gave him a Cockney accent.
Incredible.
Okay, I love it.
It's very good.
And so, yeah, all of a sudden the music comes on and they all start extreme headbanging, which I put in all caps in my notes because it was that important.
Extreme headbang.
They're headbanging like their bones are broken. How can they do that?
It's the impossible headbang. The legendary headbang.
The legendary headbang from the legendary idols.
Saki grabs a megaphone and just screams.
Yeah, so this is what death metal is, everybody. In case you're new to it, I'm here to introduce you. Hello, intro to metal while I'm here. Death metal is just screaming aggressively into the microphone and headbanging like your neck is broken.
And also being dead.
Inside and out.
Inside and out. That's the important part. The inside's the hard part. And so, and their show went really well because apparently everyone liked that.
And those two distinct-looking metal fans end up being their groupies.
Yeah, they're their first fans, and Sakura crowd surfs. It's great.
It's wonderful. And at the end of the episode, last thing that happens is all of the other girls wake up.
Except for Yamada.
Awaken. Except for the legendary Yamada Tai, probably, unless she's just like that. Who knows?
I think she might just be like that.
She might just be like that. She might just be feral.
Be like that sometimes.
But yeah, so like they wake up the next day and Sakura has to explain everything to all the other girls who have just awakened and are having their moment just like she had, where it's like, what's going on? Where are there zombies? What's going on? Where are we? Ah!
Yeah, they're all dealing with, hey, we're zombies now. Oops.
Oops, all zombies. Hey, Jinx.
Same joke.
Same joke.
And so yeah, that's episode 1, which is a phenomenal opening to a show.
Just wild. A wild setup for a wild series.
Mm-hmm. Incredible.
Yep.
Absolutely bonkers. Episode 2!
Episode 2. So I wrote in my notes, the opening fucking slaps. Because it does. It's a great opening.
We get the opening for the first time now.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a banger. So and the animation is really weird. Like, it's like comic book, like pop art style almost, but still anime at the same time.
And it changes back and forth constantly. It's powerful. Please watch the opening if nothing else. Please also watch the show, but especially watch the opening.
Yeah. Because, like, it does that thing I love that certain comic book styles do, where they just, like, go super duper heavy on the line art.
Mm-hmm.
With like big dramatic spot blacks, and if anyone has ever seen my art before, you know that this is my favorite shit.
Yes.
So
Go recast.comic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's a ton of like references all throughout it, and like shows their outfits later on in the series inside of it. It's really powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Also, the song's just a bop.
It's such a good song.
It's not my favorite song of theirs, but it is very good.
There's
It's
so
really
much good
good.
music.
It's a lot. It's very good. I wrote, it's ironically very full of life.
Hey!
Hey.
Nice.
So episode 2, the plot, they are in their meeting room, which is like the dungeon.
It's like a cage in a dungeon. Like, literally, they're caged in. It's very strange.
It's kind of fucky, yeah, but they come back to this room like almost every single episode, because if they have like a moment where they're like talking about what they're gonna do this episode, they're probably down in this little like poorly lit dungeon area. Like there's prison bars behind them and just like this ratty whiteboard that Kotaro like tries to write interesting things on, but he can't spell sometimes. It's great.
Yep.
Absolutely incredible.
So he has to explain to them that they're zombies and shows them a traumatizing film where a samurai slays a bunch of zombies, and that's why they can't leave.
Yep. Or they'll get killed again.
Or they'll get killed again. Yeah, because this is what happens whenever zombies try to integrate with society. Samurai kill you.
Hire a samurai to take care of your zombie problem. But yeah, so because most of these characters would be well known or recognizable by their names, they all go by numbers to hide what their names actually are.
Yep.
So like Sakura's number 1, I think Saki's number 2. I don't remember all of their idols, their numbers.
Yeah,
But-
Tai is number 0. I is 3, Junko is 4, Yugiri is 5, Lily is 6.
I will look at you actually writing shit down.
I just remember. I'm just like,
Oh,
yeah, good go.
Whoa.
powerful.
But yes, yeah, Tai is 0 for some reason, but it's funny, so we're going with that.
She's so legendary, she doesn't get a number.
A deep cut in. So I was reading some like Reddit threads on Zombieland Saga, and someone came up with a theory that all the girls and their numbers are based off of the Chinese Bagua.
Ooh?
Yeah, so let me see if I can find it. It was wild stuff.
Tell me more about this numerology shit.
There's a correspondence between the girls and their way of death and their characters. Bagua is an ancient Chinese philosophical study that was brought to Japan through Buddhism. So there's 8 symbols. So there's a 0, which is earth, which is supposed to symbolize death by earthquake or starvation. We don't know what happens to Tai, but it could be. 1 is the sky symbol, and it could be death by traffic, which, you know. 2
Yeah,
is
that-
gas explosion or flame death. Saki has her own thing. 3, death by thunder. Self-explanatory. 4, death by plane crash or
Oh my
mountain.
God.
It's
We're
mountain.
spoiling this whole
I know.
You're spoiling it,
But
Sarah.
there's this deep theory on Reddit, and people are saying like it could, if it's true, give some backstory to characters that don't have backstory yet.
Yeah.
I see some credence in it too, because it also, like, the way that the personalities are supposed to be for the Chinese Bagua also aligns.
Huh.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I have never heard that. That's really cool.
it's a fan theory. I don't have it written down who came up with it, so look on the internet for it. But
Wild if true.
we'll see.
So the true tragedy of all of this is, unfortunately, Saki's Tamagotchi is probably dead after all this time.
Because she's a 90s girl.
She is, and she loved that Tamagotchi so much. In all of her flashbacks, you see her, like, holding the Tamagotchi, taking care of the Tamagotchi. It's probably dead by now. The true
it's very
tragedy in all
upsetting.
of this.
God, Kotaro, why couldn't you have revived Saki's Tamagotchi?
I
Get with
know.
it! But yeah, so as they continue talking about this, Kotaro explains that they're gonna be idols to try and revive Saga, and the blue hair idol girl, is kind of annoyed at this, and she's like, we're doing local idol shit, seriously?
And Junko is just very scared and, like, not cool with a lot of this. She's got her own reservations.
Yeah. So the girls go to rehearsals, because apparently they have a show tomorrow as well.
Yeah.
But Sakura is the only one practicing. The others are all, they're not really into it. And I is like, during the entirety of practice, I is just like sitting in a corner and just fucking staring at Sakura. And Sakura is like, she seems familiar, but I don't know why. Oh, important to note.
Sakura does not remember anything.
Yeah, Sakura has no memory. She does not remember how she died. She does not remember who she was before her death. That comes up at some point. I don't remember exactly when.
Episode 11. Yeah, and then Junko is the same. She's just sitting in the back, just kind of staring at the floor, not wanting to participate. They're a really good ship. We're going to get into that later, though. It's fine.
But yeah, so later that night, Ai and Junko both end up sneaking out, and Sakura catches them and follows them. She keeps trying to convince them to come back, but they're not having it. They end up at an outdoor mall, and while they're walking through it...
The true horror of the whole series, rappers.
A trio of hip-hop dudes start rapping towards them.
Aggressively rapping towards them.
While, like, asking, like, flirting at the same time.
It's like, hey, we're gonna take you out tonight. Like, stuff like that. It's like, you want to go see a show? Don't run away from us.
Hey there, cuties, let's go see a movie.
It's stuff like, it's that level of bad, and you're like, oh no. So, obviously, the girls just start, like, aggressively walking away as fast as they can.
Yeah, they're like, oh god, hip-hop!
Oh no,
they're running.
Oh no, fuck boys.
But then a new challenger appears.
It's the cop.
It's the cop, and he raps very badly.
He's like, don't be bad, kids, or I'm gonna arrest you.
Don't do drugs, stay in school, like that level.
Basically, yeah.
So eventually the girls reveal, hey, we're zombies, oops. And so they all run away.
Well, they get shot at, yeah.
Yeah, so, they get cornered. Everyone sees that they're zombies. The cop freaks out, shoots them, misses, hits a window. The girls panic and run. The hip-hoppers also panic and run. The cops also panic and run. It's slapstick shenanigans, basically, and they end up back at the mansion.
Yeah, just kind of proving Gotaro's point of, hey, like, you can't be out there. People are going to panic and try to kill you.
Yeah, basically. So the next day, they have their new show, and the vibe is extremely different from the first show they did.
Mm-hmm.
It's a historic castle, and there's a bunch of old people and families.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's like a senior center or something.
And this time, they're called Greenface.
Yeah, Kotaro, like, decided to change their name for some reason.
Just cause. Yeah, Death Musume didn't work, I guess, even though I really liked that one. And so now they're called Greenface. And now they're going to go out and perform for these older people with 1 day of practice.
Yep. And so, like, Sakura goes and she's trying, but Yugiri starts doing, like, this traditional Japanese old-style dance. And
Lily's just kind of jumping up and down in the background.
Yep.
It's just chaos.
And then someone in the front row is eating dried squid, and Tai jumps on them.
Yep.
She jumps out there, freaks out. Sakura tries to, like, yank her back, but unfortunately, Tai's head comes off because they're zombies. That happens sometimes.
And Sakura's like, it's magic! We're doing a magic trick. It's okay.
Joke, see? Haha, magic trick. Puts her head back on.
Yeah. But then Saki, is the biker girl, is kind of tired, and she's like, hey, this is fucking fun. Look, I'm gonna yoink her head back off, and she yanks Tai's head back off.
She's had, like, a really kind of bad attitude the whole episode that's been leading up to this.
Yeah, like, Saki's, like, not having it.
Yeah.
And then Sakura loses her shit and starts yelling at Saki.
And this turns into...
And this is the best scene in the whole show.
It's the best song.
It is the best song.
If you have not seen Zombieland Saga, chances are you probably are at least familiar with this scene, because this is the zombie anime girl rap battle.
Yep.
This scene went around so much and got memed on so much, and
it's so powerful.
I haven't mentioned this, though. So I watched the English version. They dub all the songs, including the rap-off.
Oh my god.
I'm just trying to do something in this world that's meaningful. I don't care about no memories before some swan song. Not like I can see my friends, my Tamagotchis long gone. You want meaning? Yeah, good luck with that, hun. Our lives are over, okay? We're done. We're not done till I say we're done.
Alright, I'm watching this immediately.
Incredible.
And honestly, I like the English version better.
Oh my god.
If I'm being honest.
I will say... Also, everything is on Spotify, and they did put Dead or Rap, which is the name of the song, officially on the album, on Spotify.
No, I lost my mind when I found out that all the Zombieland Saga music is on Spotify. I was like, Fuck yeah!
It's so powerful.
Tunes! So good.
So they start rapping at each other, talking about their problems and how they're dead and they need to get it together and start working as a team. While Saki just wants to take over Japan.
Saki just wants to go be a biker girl somewhere else.
Yeah, and Sakura does a literal mic slam drop. It's great. But
It's
the old
incredible.
people loved it. They thought it was hilarious and great show.
The old people are like, oh yes, I love these rap
I
kids.
love the hippie hoppies.
Is this what idols are these days? I approve.
Amazing. But yeah, so here at the end, Saki, biker girl, goes up to Sakura and she's like, I respect you now. You've got
You've
guts.
got guts to stand up to me.
And you know what? Being idols might not be a bad way to take over Japan. And I drew like my little angry kitty face, like evil nyahaha emoji down here. Because it fit the vibe.
Incredible.
Oh yeah, and their groupies are there. They're like, oh, this is weird. Are they doing like a conservation thing now? Why are they called green things?
They're like, what? This venue and this music is different, but hey, we're still fans. We're good. We're good.
We're good, yeah. But it's funny because like throughout the series, you start seeing like all these recurring faces in their audience, and so they're like slowly gathering fans, and you recognize them because like these metalheads are at like every single concert they do, and like now that they've acquired the old people audience, you're going to start to see like random seniors at some of their shows.
Mm-hmm.
And so like every time they do a new concert, there's new recognizable members of the audience in it, and it's so great.
Yeah.
It's very good.
It's just so good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and just everything that plays into it, like the fact that like they just start yelling at each other. So Kotaro starts like beatboxing on the microphone, and then like Yugiri just pulls out like a random instrument and starts jamming along. Lily starts dancing behind them. It's so fun.
Yeah, Lily like gets everybody to do like the clapping and
starts clapping along. It's so good.
It's very good.
Just Kotaro beatboxing on the microphone is the funniest thing to me.
Like, listen, if you haven't watched this scene, you should watch the whole series.
Do yourself a favor and at least watch the scene along with the opening.
Yeah, and like go watch the English version because it's also very good.
Yeah, watch both twice. Double Zombie Saga. Wow.
Double Zombie Saga.
Episode 3.
Episode 3.
So they are back in the dungeon.
They're commended on their nice zombieing by Kotaro.
Nice zombie.
Nice zombie.
Nice zombie.
Who's a good zombie?
I mean, basically, I wrote down the quote: "A zombie that doesn't dance is just a regular zombie."
Yeah, so you know, now you're like a higher class of zombie.
Exactly.
If you were in Resident Evil, it would be slightly harder to kill you.
You're too busy dancing to dodge.
Yep.
Or dance dodging. Yep.
So they decide that they have to come up with a name and that they're going to do their first gorilla show.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Gorilla show being they all rent gorilla costumes and they go to Ueno Zoo, but then there's already an idol group there, and then they have a turf war with 22-7, and it's a whole thing.
Wait, hold on.
That was it.
Exactly.
Back up.
To another episode of our podcast.
Idol Illuminati.
Idol Illuminati confirmed. But no, yeah, gorilla like GEU something.
Yeah, they're gonna
I
like
can spell.
they're gonna do a flash show basically in the middle of a city street.
Yep.
Yeah, like a heavily populated area.
Like a secret concert, and they're just gonna go fucking do it and get lots of attention, ideally.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So they've got to come up with their name since Kotaro can't keep doing it.
Yeah, they're like, Kotaro's name sucks. We're gonna make up our own name.
Yep.
Also important, at some point at the beginning of this episode too, they pick a leader and they end up choosing Saki because she's the only one who steps up, and they're like, we don't want to fight Saki.
Yep, Saki's the
Like,
leader.
Saki's the
Sakura
leader
is
now.
the heart of the show, but Saki is the leader. And that's what I was saying earlier, but yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sakura is still the center, but Saki is the de facto leader.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like Yamato and Riku.
Yeah. So they're trying to come up with a name, and they're like writing names on a whiteboard, and Saki keeps coming up with like these terrible gangster type names.
Death Gods of Terror and stuff like that.
Yeah. But what ends up happening is Tae, the legendary Tae,
Legendary.
she eats a Sharpie, and then starts like sneezing, and they interpret one of her sneezes as the name of their group.
Fran Shushu.
Friend.
Frontage.
Which is low-key a pretty good name.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a mouthful, but I like it.
Friend Shushu.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So then they get like their casual like street clothes that they go with, have their numbers on it, and they're really style. I love them a lot.
Mm-hmm. Like, this would be a nice, like, easy cosplay to do on, like, a Sunday of a con.
Also, noteworthy, during the whole time that they're practicing and getting ready for the live, like, Ai and Junko are, like, not having it still. They're still, like, this is not what an idol is. We're dead. We were idols.
Yeah.
Things are different. This
Ai
is
is
weird.
complaining that Lily is too small, and she keeps tripping over Lily, and so she keeps threatening to quit. It's just a mess. They're really still struggling.
Yeah, and so, like, when the day of the live show starts, the two experienced idol girls, Ai and Junko, they end up waiting in the van and just kind of, like, watching the shit show.
Until they have to come and save the day.
Yeah, so, like, they're in the middle, the rest of the girls are in the middle of their song, and I forget exactly what happens. I think maybe, like, Lily trips or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Lily trips, and Sakura is, like, forgetting the lyrics.
Yeah, and so, like, they had a reasonable audience, but then once they start messing up, all the people who are watching them start to leave, and they start panicking. But then the other two girls jump in and start singing and save the day.
And they get their first, like, little small fan. It was great.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's time to talk about the one bad thing about Zombieland Saga is the 3D lives are not great looking.
Yeah.
They are not great.
Even with, like, I have no experience with 3D animation like you guys do, or any sort of animation. But even I could tell it was not very good.
Yeah, it's weird because the frame rate gets slower. I don't know if they just didn't want to render out frames or something.
The models
kind of weird. Yeah,
the models are really stiff, and their faces kind of look weird at certain angles.
Yes,
it's bizarre,
and also proportionally, they're different than their 2D versions.
Yeah, it's
their little
weird.
string beanie.
It's kind of hard to look at. Like, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but it's kind of just like, eh.
Yeah, it's very jarring. And there's definitely points where you feel like they could have done, like, switched between 2D and 3D, because there are a lot of waist-up shots where they could have given it the Love Live treatment, but they didn't even do that.
Well, like, even later on in the series, there are some places where, like, they're just dancing, and it's, like, kind of simplistic, and it's still 2D, and it looks pretty nice. But, yeah, the 3D shots are not very good.
If it's a big dance number with everybody in, like, their complicated outfits, they don't even bother trying to do the Love Life treatment of close-up shots are 2D, faraway shots are 3D. It's all 3D, and the 3D is not great. But aside from that, their concert goes off. They finish their concert, and at this point, there's only, like, one little girl watching them, but she's, like, vibing and having a really good time and, like, mimicking their dance moves, and it's really cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and she also shows up at lives in the future.
It's so cute. I love her. She reminds me of Nanako from Persona 4. She's great.
Oh, she does!
So yeah, unfortunately, Mr. Rap Cop starts showing up and is about to break them up. So they all have to grab their gear as quick as they can, and they go into the van.
Drive away!
Yep, and that's where we start seeing, like, the glimpses of Junko and Ai being the best ship. Because, like, they're bonding together over, like, they're not happy with the situation, but they're getting through it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Character growth.
Woohoo! Episode 4!
Hot
Springs episode!
Hot Springs episode!
It's business time!
Business in the Hot Springs!
Welcome to the Hot Springs episode.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun,
yeah,
dun.
so we start in the same dungeony meeting room. Almost every single episode starts down here, because this is their briefing of, this is what we're gonna do this episode.
Hey, hello, you have one day to prepare for this thing coming up.
Yep, because I am good at time management. I'm Kotaro, here, have some squid, goodbye.
So yeah, Saki punches the crap out of Kotaro for being a jerk constantly to them, and it was very satisfying.
Oh yes. The basic premise of this episode is the group is out of money, apparently.
Constantly.
So just constantly, no money.
No money.
So Kotaro wants to find a sponsor, and a pharmaceutical company is apparently considering them and wants them to perform at a business trip. So the girls would get to stay overnight at a hot spring, but they can't actually go into the hot spring because if they get in the water, their not zombie makeup would wash off, and we can't have anyone finding out that they're zombies. Da-da-da-da-da, you know the riff.
That's not foreshadowing at all.
No, certainly not.
That's fine.
Oh. Yeah, so they're really excited still to finally, like, get to perform for a bigger audience and, like, feel like they're making progress and find a sponsor, maybe.
Basically, Kotaro drops them off at the hotel where they're going to be staying / performing, and he says, okay, now go practice all day. What am I going to do? I'm going to go sightsee. Bye! Yep. And then the girls are like, we also want to sightsee, and so they just leave.
Yep.
And they leave, and then we get a tour of this real town in Saga Province.
With a lot of the things there being like, hey, this is an actual town in Saga.
Yep.
My favorite thing is Yugiri saying, like, hey, I don't know what a modern town looks like at all. What is all this?
I love the general meta plot that Kotaro is saving Saga by being an anime character in a show about Saga and thus actually boosting tourism.
Yep.
That's the thing, is like the show is doing what the zombies are trying to do. It's really funny.
It's extremely meta, and I love it.
It's very meta, because like everything they visit and like all the things they get to do are actual places in Saga.
Yeah, and also like, so you have like the little eye catches that happen where a commercial would be if it was on TV, and it's always like the girls like showing off some like a local food or like a place in Saga, and it's like these simple little illustrations, but it's very cute.
It's like somebody saw Love Live Sunshine and they're like, hey, I have an idea. A very meta idea.
But these shows came out around the same time, though.
That's true.
Apparently you can like go to some of these stores now and they'll have like Zombieland Saga like character stuff in the windows and like products and stuff that they sell because it's helping to boost tourism and things like that.
I love that. But see, no, here's the thing. It's not Love Live Sunshine. There is a literal show about this called iDOL, which is one we're gonna have to watch later eventually.
Right.
Oh.
You, Sarah, specifically should watch it because it's kind of slice of lifey, but it's also idly, and you would love the shit out of this show.
I'll do it.
I watched it a long time ago, like back when it first came out, and I think there's a second season that I haven't watched. Anyway, it's on the list. We're gonna have to do it eventually, but the local idol concept is not new to anime, but it's cute and it's good.
It's powerful.
Very cute.
Well, one of my favorite things is as they're wandering around, Ai finds this random fish statue at like one of the prayer sites, and she goes up. It's like, oh, this fish statue is supposed to help you with like your skin and your health. And so she and Sakura just kind of look at each other and they start furiously scooping water onto the fish statue to pray to it. Just like super speed zombie muscles, just like onto
It's
the
like,
fish statue.
moisten the fish!
And it's like an ongoing joke that they're always concerned that they smell like death, and so like they just start furiously sniffing at each other whenever someone brings up smell. It's so funny.
It's very good. But yeah, so there's this one really great scene where, like, this is the first time you see business Kotaro.
Like what he's actually doing.
Yeah, so he is, like, at this cafe with this businesswoman from the pharmacy company, and he's talking about, it's like, yes, we have plans to revive Saga with this idol group that I am putting together. In fact, they're hard at work practicing for their performance right now. And as he says that, all of the girls walk past the window of the cafe, and he's like, they're practicing right now, right? They're practicing right now. Don't look out the window.
And so he just kind of like grabs her under the chin and like sexily stares into her eyes with his sunglasses still on.
And she like blushes.
And that's the end of the scene.
He never takes his sunglasses off, ever.
Never,
we do not know what this man's eyes look like.
It's not a plot point. Oh, and at one point, while they're on the footpath together, they bring up, it's like, hey, aren't bodies cremated in Japan? And then that's never brought up again. It's like, how did he get the bodies to bring us back to life anyway?
No. Oh my god. Can I like take a sidestep and I have a story about
Please
this,
do.
actually.
Ooh.
Starla story time!
Oh,
Tales
no.
from my life in Japan.
Oh, no.
So we actually had this conversation with one of my teachers. I had this one teacher who was very, very chill, and so we would always get into weird conversations in her class. And I forget exactly how it got brought up, but at some point we started talking about zombie movies and how there's very, very little Japanese zombie movie media because of this exact thing, that the dead in Japan are cremated because there's so little space in Japan, they don't have room to bury whole bodies, and so they're cremated to save space. Like, you look at Japanese grave sites, the gravestones are like itty-bitty. And you can, like, fit an entire family plot on, like, a 6-foot square.
And they're all, like, clustered together super tight. Yep.
Yeah, Japanese graveyards are very aesthetically pleasing. I actually went to a couple while I was over there. But anyway, so aesthetic, yes. We were talking about this, and Miwa-sensei, my cool teacher, she was asking, she's like, yeah, so zombie movies are very popular in America, right? And I said, yes. And she says, bodies, so when people die, do you not cremate the bodies? And I said, well, I mean, some people do, but mostly people in America, we just bury them in graveyards. And she gets this horrified look, and she just she just like looks me dead in the eyes, and she goes, so you just put whole bodies in the ground? And I'm like, well, I mean, you put them in the box, you put them in like a nice box first, but yes, just like their whole bodies, and you put them in the ground. and that's where they exist forever. And she just gives like this deadly serious look in her eyes, and she's like, what happens if it rains?
Oh no! A little deeper than that, Miwa Sensei.
And I'm like, it needs to be a little deeper than that. So I'm like, they're buried a little deeper than that.
But that's why zombies are terrifying.
And that's why zombies are terrifying. Because it rains.
Because it rains all the time, especially if you're in like New Orleans or whatever.
Florida. That's why zombies are such a problem in Florida. Sarah would know. So yeah.
Anyway.
So they meet up back in their hotel room, and they've got to figure out what they're gonna do to like incorporate the product into their presentation. So they got like these sort of like hot patches that they've got to put, that they're looking at, and they've got like for free from the pharmaceutical company. It's sort of like a, hey, thank you for doing this for us. Here, have these hot patches. And so they slap them on, and because they're zombies,
Ship Zed.
because they're dead, they're super effective. And they just kind of like put them on themselves, and it's like my strength is restored. I'm like, my muscles are so limber now. And so they just slap them all over their bodies, and then they're good to go for the show tonight.
Yep. And so what they decide to do is during the performance at like this banquet, they just like start running out into the audience and slapping hot patches on everybody, and they're like, yeah, wow, this is great, buy these hot packs.
Yeah, buy these hot packs. Pharmaceuticals are the best. Buy these, please. Thank you for having us. Yeah, and their show went great. It was perfect.
Yep.
Now they can be idols for longer.
Later that night, though,
Dun dun.
It's time to sneak out.
And go to the hot springs.
Metal Gear Solid noises. Insert here.
Yep. So Saki convinces Sakura to go be bad and sneak into the hot spring, and Junko also wants to come.
Yeah, she's like, but I also want to go to the hot spring. Like, she's very like bashful about it, but she's also wants to sneak out with them. It's great.
It's very cute. She's great. I love her.
I love her.
She's a good bean.
She is a good bean. And so, like, they finally get there, and they're all relaxing, and then they're having a nice time, like, bonding with each other. And who walks in but the director?
Yep, the business lady that Kotaro was talking to earlier.
And so they're like, oh, crap, we gotta hide. And so they hide behind the rocks, and they gotta try and sneak out. But they're zombies. Like, they can maybe sneak under the water since they don't have to breathe or whatever. But their hot patches keep falling off that were stuck onto them. It's coming back. It's all coming back.
Yep. What eventually happens is that during the shenanigans, Sakura's head accidentally pops off, and then it floats over to where this lady is bathing, and she sees this like zombie head just in the pool, and she panics and runs.
It's quite terrifying, actually. They draw it really well.
Yeah, they put a lot of love into this submerged zombie head art.
And so she just starts screaming, and the girls are trying to run back to the room, and the screaming wakes up all the other zombies.
Yeah, and so then there's just like this Benny Hill-esque like running through the hallways.
Well, like, also terrifying.
Yeah, like strong horror.
Tai is doing the upside down crab walk down the hallway because she's Tai. Yugiri is just like, is there anything I can do to help you? While like turning her head all the way around to look at her. So, it's like legitimately if you've watched like Japanese horror movies, there's a lot of references there to like a lot of scenes from those movies. Like, it's genuinely terrifying while also being hilarious.
But it's also fucking funny, like, let's be real.
Really funny.
It's very funny, but like with also really creepy scenes. And so the next day she doesn't remember anything because she's so terrified, like curled into a ball like on the sidewalk. She forgot everything. She was so scared.
Mm-hmm. And Kotaro's like, great.
There goes their deal.
Yep. Oh well.
Oh well.
Womp womp.
Womp womp.
So thankfully they don't have enough money, so they need another partner for episode 5.
Womp womp.
Episode 5! This is the best episode.
It's great.
All of the episodes are the best episode, but this one's fucking great.
Because this is the sports episode. No, actually, no, that's the next one.
It's kind of the sports episode, yeah.
The second half is the sports episode.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, they've decided on 2 new ways that they're going to try and get some new people in their audience. Mm-hmm. The first way is that they're going to do a commercial for a real restaurant called Drive-In Tori.
Yep.
And by real, we mean it actually exists.
And the commercial they film for this is based off the actual commercial, which you can watch on YouTube if you search Drive-In Tori.
Yep.
It's extremely good. Like, they show kind of like a mosaicked version of it, like, in the show, and I'm like, I wonder if that's real. Tick-a-tick-a-tack on YouTube. Oh shit, it is real. That's great.
Also, the president of Drive-In Tori actually voices his own character in
he
the Japanese
voices
version.
himself in the show. Saki is like so excited because she used to go to Drive-In Tori when she was in her bike gang when she was alive. And she's like, oh my god, Drive-In Tori, let's go. We're doing this right now. Ah!
Oh my god, I can't believe we get to go to fucking Drive-In Tori!
She is now motivated.
Yep.
So they're ready to do this. They get their free chicken and they're good to go.
And so, yeah, they all have, like, little chicken costumes. Mm-hmm. And they dance around. It's very cute.
And Tae is the best at making chicken noises.
Yep, along with Kuko-kun-san, who appears.
Kuko-kun.
Who is a chicken, but also a man? We're not quite sure.
Yeah, they say he's a man in a mascot suit, but, like, the proportions of this...
But he's also an actual chicken. We're not quite sure.
It's like the proportions of this character. There is no way that this is a person in a suit.
No, it's like a legit
Also,
dude.
the face is emoting fully. So.
And he's like doing like Michael Jackson dances in the background and stuff. He's into it.
This is just like the local cryptid, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
And so they're
Very
trying
spooky.
their best to also keep Ty from eating him.
This is the first half of the episode. Their commercial gets filmed, and there's a lot of shenanigans. But basically, they end up on TV. And there's another pseudo-important character who shows up, who is this reporter dude.
Yeah, they're with like the Saga magazine.
Yeah, and so like we never learn his name, I don't think.
Oh gosh, I wrote it down somewhere.
I just called him Mystery Dude the whole time.
Mystery
Shinta.
Dude. Shinta.
I'm kind of keep calling him Mystery
he's
Dude.
He's the zine guy, but yeah, his name was Shinta.
Yes. So he sees them and he's like, huh, have I seen some of these girls before? I wonder.
And so he's already showing up to like a lot of these events because it's his job to report on a lot of these things. So you'll see him around at a bunch of stuff. So there's a reason he keeps noticing a lot of this weird stuff.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of a meta plot that's happening in the background.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important to know that they get paid in t-shirts. This is important later in the episode.
Yes, they get paid in Drive-In Tori shirts.
T-shirts, Stacey.
Yes.
But yes, the second half of the episode is the sports episode.
Sports! God Olympics!
The God Olympics, where it's all based around mud and everybody failing spectacularly and they're all having a good time, which is apparently also a real thing, and I kind of want to participate.
So they have these uniform t-shirts for the event, and they very much scream graphic design is my passion.
Yes, it's so powerful.
Yep.
I really want one of these shirts.
It's very bad.
Yep. So the first event is mud biking, where they have to like go across this narrow plank of wood and like not fall in the mud with their bicycle.
And they all do terribly.
Except for Kotaro?
Except for Kotaro, who does perfectly, but does not mention them at all. So now they're all covered in mud, and they can't display their t-shirts to promote themselves.
So they go try to wash off the mud so that you can see their t-shirts, which is totally how doing the laundry works.
But it also washes off their makeup.
So then they have to go immediately jump back in the mud pit.
They literally all just like, oh crap, and just face first plant into the mud.
And they're like, well, I guess this is the rest of our day.
This is fine now.
This is fine.
Yep.
So the next is like a mud swing. Tarzan style, get on the rope swing, see how far you can get into the mud, and all the girls do very terribly.
Well, no, Yugiri does pretty well. She just gets no distance, because all she did was like a ropes routine.
Yeah. But Tae, when it's her turn to go, she flies, she lets go of the swing and she's flying upward, and then all of her limbs disassemble.
Yeah, just every way, every which way.
And so the other girls have to run really, really quickly and put her back together, and they're like, haha, see, it's a magic trick. Nothing happened.
And the power of teamwork.
His joke. So Ty, because she did really well and got super far, gets to go up on the stage and talk into a microphone.
But she can't talk.
And they're like, wait, hold on. She has another t-shirt below her t-shirt because she was trying to rip it off earlier. Ty, take off your t-shirt.
And the girls are obviously thinking, oh, if her clean t-shirt's on underneath this, then we'll be able to advertise the idol group because she's wearing the idol group t-shirt. But she rips off her top t-shirt, and it's the Drive-In Tori shirt underneath.
And she crows really loudly.
And it's like, wow, this is an advertisement for Drive-In Tori.
And everyone's like, oh great, I love Drive-In Tori.
Yeah, I love that.
And all the girls are like, God damn it.
But the magazine guys are all there, and they're like, that's really suspicious. I know I saw
sus.
something happen there. This is really weird.
These idols are sus.
These
Idols
idols are
sus.
sus.
I saw Ty event.
Episode 6!
Episode 6.
So they are all practicing a new song. And Junko and I are supposed to be the centers.
Yep. And so Sakura gets some flashbacks when looking at Ai specifically.
Oh, is she remembering?
Yeah, she's like, this is really weird. Like, this reminds me of something.
But I don't know what. But yeah, because Sakura still, all of her memories are missing, and so she occasionally gets, like, these flashbacks to... Like, she obviously doesn't know necessarily what it is, but, like, we as the audience know she's having flashbacks to an Iron Frill concert.
Yes.
Which is the group that I was the center of before she died.
Correct. It's less like you're trying to figure out what's happened and more like you're rooting for Sakura to get her memories back so she can do better.
Yeah, it's like, come on, Sakura, you can remember this, you can do it.
We believe in you. Yeah.
She's gonna figure it out eventually.
Yep.
And when she figures it out, everything will be fine.
Yep, everything will be fine. Nothing bad will happen.
Yep.
Become a Guka.
So, while Kotaro is indisposed in the bath, they go up and get on the computer.
Because they want to research what idols are up to nowadays, because it's been so long.
Yeah, they gotta research modern trends, and Yugiri learns where the computer is. She hits it with a pipe.
She's like, I've never seen a box like this. Tap, tap.
Tap, tap.
do not hit computer. Only trained professionals can do that. That's what I do.
But yeah, so... I'm sorry, it took me a second to realize. He's like, yeah, have you tried turning it off and on again? No? Have you tried whacking it with a stick?
Yeah, that's what you do second.
Yep.
But yeah, so they research an upcoming event called Saga Rock that's going to be coming up pretty soon. And Iron Frill is going to be there.
Dun dun dun.
Dun-dun.
They're still going, and they're celebrating, like, the 10th year anniversary death of I. Not celebrating, but, like, honoring.
I was thinking about this during the show. I mean, they were talking about during this scene that a lot of idols that were popular when I was an idol have broken up since. Because it's been like 10 years.
But Iron Frill is still going.
But yeah, so it's just makes you realize it's like, yeah, 10 years is a long time for like the same idols to still be performing.
Yes, and Iron Frill still looks pretty young when you see him. So.
Yeah, it's like, wait, they're all like in their late 20s, early 30s, right? Like, whoa.
They have to be.
Assuming they started in their teens, then yeah.
Yeah, they're doing pretty good for themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so they learn about Saga Rock, and then it comes up pretty soon that Kotaro talks about how they are going to be the newcomers entry for Saga Rock. Inexplicably, this is like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for them.
But then we have some drama. Junko and I kind of have this argument. So the girls are going to do a meet and greet with some of their fans because they have a sizable fan base now.
And it's like a handshake event, so like face
so
to
they're
face.
selling merch and like they have a mini concert beforehand. But Junko does not want to take pictures and like meet personally with people.
Yeah, Junko is like very, very wigged out by the idea of modern idol culture. And this was kind of like a really interesting thing that the show did, was kind of talk about the evolving relationships of idols with their fans. And this was like genuinely very, very interesting.
Yeah, and technically neither of the sides are really in the wrong of like, hey, this is something that she's really coming to terms with, of like, this is something that she's trained to be perfect all the time. She cannot show any sort of weakness, nor she has to be this star on the unreachable star on the stage, whereas like more modern idol culture is like something that's more attainable, and you can have these handshake events and like get to know people and be more relatable, and how that's changed, and like you have to learn to adapt to it.
Yeah, and like another thing is that back in Junko's day, it's like I have to be perfect all the time. There's a barrier between me and my fans.
Exactly.
And I have to be like this perfect role model for them. Whereas now, kind of the atmosphere is that idols, when they first start, probably won't be perfect, and the idea is that your fans grow to love you because they get to see you grow and become better.
Exactly.
And so Junko represents like the older idol model, and I represent the newer idol model, and this just kind of becomes a source of contentment of
until like they're actually really fighting about it, and Junko keeps like threatens to quit and won't do it with them.
Yeah, and so, like, this is just kind of a big fight that these characters have, and it's forming a rift in their group, and that's kind of the plot of the next this episode, mainly.
This episode.
So, these two girls fight.
Yep, and so, each individual, like, I has her own little talk, and Junko has her own little talk with one of the other group members, sort of, like, explaining their backstory and what's going on and what motivates them as an idol, and, like, sort of their side in the conflict. And why they're trying so hard, but also their difficulties relating.
Yeah, because so Sakura goes and talks to Junko, and Junko kind of gives her backstory. And she's like, back in my day.
Yeah, this is like how idols behaved and like how hard I've had to work to be perfect all the time, and like what I'm worried about, like being with everyone else, and like I've had to be a solo idol all the time.
Mm-hmm. And also we find out how she died is that she was on her way. She was in a plane on her way to her first show in Saga, and the plane goes down.
Yep.
And apparently there actually was a real life historic plane crash in Saga. So.
Oh, whoa,
Jesus.
for real?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, for real.
That's dark.
Yeah, very dark.
So then Saki and I get into a talk. They're trapped out in a thunderstorm, and you can see that Ai is really freaked out by thunder. Like this whole episode, she keeps like cringing and trying to face whenever thunder comes up, but like you can see it's really throwing her off whenever it happens, and like something is up where she's super, super, super scared of thunder.
Yeah, so Saki comments on this when they're taking shelter from the storm, and she's like, it's kind of crazy that you're scared of lightning. And Ai says, it's how I died. And
Yep, she died in the most metal way possible.
Yeah, it was pretty metal.
It was very, very metal, but probably very traumatizing.
Right?
Yeah.
Because, so we see this flashback of her on stage with Iron Frill. They're on an outdoor concert during a thunderstorm. She runs out into the middle of the stage. She does, like, the point in the sky
upward
thing that iDOL does, and she gets struck by lightning. And the next thing you see is just her fried chicken standing in the center of the stage, still smoking.
Imagine being, like, anybody in the audience for that.
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
the worst thing.
And it was talking about how, like, this was their breakout moment. Like, they finally made it, and then this happens. And so, yeah, they were like, damn, son. But her main thing is that she can't let that be her whole legacy. She's still here, and she's not going to let that be the last of her story, basically. And she's going to use Fran Shuju as a way to, like, keep going and not let that be what she's remembered for.
Despite the fact that she cannot be found out. Because otherwise, you know...
But that's a big point of contention for her, right? Like, and that's sort of like the really sad part of her story is like she's really back and forth of like, yeah, my band members are still going, and like this is all of what Mizuno is remembered for, but like I'm still here, like I'm still technically alive and like able to do stuff, and I don't want that to be my legacy. Like, does that count towards her as herself? Like, I think that's the central conflict of her character, and it's really, really interesting. I really like that about her.
Just the fucking depth of these characters is phenomenal, and I just want to like find the director of this show and just shake their hand and be like, thank you.
No, it's really
thank you
really
for
good.
Finally some delicious fucking idols.
Finally some delicious food. No, like they really hit hard on it, and like it's still really funny at points, and there's a lot of like comedic relief inside of stuff, but at the same time you're like, oh god, like this is really messed up, but there's a lot that they're also saying seriously about like what it means to be an idol and what it means for the legacy of individual people, and like I don't know, it's fantastic, and like there's not much we can do to do justice about it just talking about it afterwards. Like it's really worth watching the individual scenes.
Absolutely. Like it's, again, listen, if you haven't seen the show, this is one of the ones that we highly recommend. Like it, I've also heard that this show is like a good starting point, like a good gateway drug into idols, because it's idols, but it's also something else.
Oh yeah,
and
it was
it's
for
wacky,
me. Yeah,
but it's not so wacky that it's a turnoff.
Yeah,
and the music's good.
And the music is very good. The characters are lovable, and it's a good entryway to idols if you're kind of new to it. Now, granted, you are listening to, I think, episode like 17 or 18 of an idol-based podcast.
True.
And we're an hour into this episode already, so
I don't know what you're talking about. This is my first one.
Oh yeah, welcome to your first episode, Athena. Very nice to meet you. I'm Sarah.
Oh.
Yes, nice to...
hello,
We've
nice
never
to
met
meet you.
before.
Yeah, this is true.
This is our first time talking.
Totally my first one I've ever done. But yeah, it just means a lot, I think, overall, as far as like what it is as a show.
It's like you said earlier, there's so much life in this show, which is ironic because they're zombies.
At the end of the last episode, it's revealed that Saga Rock is going to be outdoors again.
Yeah.
And that was like a big contention point.
Yeah, Ai is like, oh, feck.
Yeah.
Aw, heckies.
Ah, heckies.
So yeah, episode 7.
Episode 7. Junko and I are still in contention at the beginning.
Yeah, Junko is like locked upstairs.
She's been like hiding in the attic for like 2 weeks.
Is
She
growing
has
mushrooms.
little mushrooms growing on her head.
She's a little mushroom friend, yeah.
Ai is still really distressed, but is like working through it and like practicing her heart out in order to deal with that trauma.
She practices so hard she literally falls apart.
Yes, like her limbs keep popping off. And like, so it's their own ways of dealing with it, and that's part of their characters. Like, they're still both equally not doing well.
And it's just interesting to see how, like, these different characters with these different personalities and these different experiences deal with their pain and trauma. And it's just so good.
I know it's good.
Anyways, Kotaro knocks down the Junko's hidey hole door.
Yeah, he
like whacks it in.
He does like a falcon kick in through the door, knocking Junko out for a little bit.
And he has like a surprisingly helpful insight, being like, hey, your personality, this could just be your character, you being the Showa and shy idol. You could just be like, send out like pictures on the handshake events. It's not actually a big deal that you don't want to do the modern idol culture. You just have to learn how to talk to your bandmates about it.
And we're not going to force you to do something, yeah.
Yeah, and one of the things that he says is like, if I has a problem with it, then she has a problem with it, but you need to do what you need to do to be comfortable.
And the big thing that comes out of the speech is friend shushu exists to support each other's dreams.
Which is very anime,
It's
but I love
very
it.
It's so anime.
But I wrote that down because it was important. Talks about the heart, about the modern day and how things have changed, and about the heart of the new generation, and how like idols are different now, and like how they've come to be the support of people, and how people can attain the dream of being an idol by watching them up there, and how much that means to people nowadays. And he talks, it's like, hey, when you're done moping, look in that suitcase that you see behind you, and then...
And it's the outfits for the
new
show.
Uniforms.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, they're pretty cute.
Yeah.
So one other thing he says in this scene is, by the way, I died because of a thunderstorm, and it's supposed to be having a thunderstorm on the day of the event, so just keep that in mind. Bye!
Please remember, goodbye.
And it's like, shipping. Alright, anyway. Sarah's rubbing off on me.
I'm not surprised.
Not surprised at all. It's like we're married or something.
She watched it with me, so she got to be like, where I'm like, hey, see that? That's a good character interaction, isn't it?
Yeah, and so it's the day of, and they keep watching, but Junko never comes out of the house, and they're like, crap, we need to go.
But then she hops the fence and stands in front of the car.
She emerges and gets hit by the truck.
And gets run over.
Yeah, and then Sakura is like, wait, why is this familiar?
Yeah, she's like, wow, this feels strangely familiar to me. But yeah, she has all the new uniforms, and they make it to Saga Rock in time.
And so one of the other fun things is that, because of course it's going to be raining, and we've already proved that their makeup washes off with water, one thing that Kotaro does is he gets them a special waterproofing makeup spray
Especially
for zombies.
Which is just like boat sealant.
It's like shoe sealant or
Shoe
something.
sealant, that's it.
Because Saki's like, hey, this shit's supposed to be for shoes!
Isn't this toxic? And it's like, you're zombies, you're fine.
It doesn't matter. You'll be okay.
You're fine. And so, yeah, Iron Frill is up first, and they do great.
And we get to see them perform for, like, a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And they're actually 2D animated.
Yeah, they're 2D animated, but it doesn't show, like, a lot of it, so whatever.
It's because they're better idols than our girls. They get,
pew, pew, pew.
They're more experienced. Once you've made it in the idol
animation.
world, then you get to be 2D animated.
They're not dead.
Oh, I see.
So, yeah, it comes up to be Friend Shushu's turn, but unfortunately it starts raining really hard and starts to storm. And so you see a lot of people start to leave. They're like, oh, it's just some idol group we've never heard of. Let's go. It's not worth it staying. And so it's like, oh, man. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people are staying.
But yeah, so obviously, as soon as they start going on stage, So this song that they've been working on, apparently the big focus is going to be on a duet between Ai and Junko, the two more experienced idol members.
Correct.
So Ai has this big solo right at the beginning, and she's doing most of the singing, but her voice keeps breaking, and she's like shivering.
She's so scared, because it's thundering really hard. You see lightning off in the distance. But Junko comes to her rescue, and I wrote down in big capital letters, the ship.
Yeah,
because she
the
comes in to
ship.
take over and help save the song at the very beginning.
She kind of takes over Ai's solo, and then during the instrumental break, she's like, "I'll back you up, stand up," and she helps her stand up.
Which is what
and
I've been
get
saying
back
to
in the
her
song.
for the past while now. Of she'll back her up.
Mm-hmm. It's very good. Oh, but I would like to talk
money.
about the reason that Junko jumped up on my fucking top 3 list
Oh?
is revealed at this moment.
That being.
Because she has an amazing fucking voice. Oh
It's
my
so
god.
Oh yeah,
Both
it's your
of them are
type
amazing.
star, the deep voice.
It's true.
Listen, I'm a fucking alto, okay?
Yep.
I treasure every single female idol I come across with like a deep, rich voice. And Junko, she's like this tiny little baby, like this frail little girl with like the white hair and the pigtails.
Oh, it's so
and
good.
She can fucking belt. It's amazing. Oh my god, I love her so fucking much. Anyway.
Yeah, no, it's really good. Like, both of them as a duet is really powerful, too. Like, the whole song is amazing. And so they start doing Returner, and what happens? But
wait, so what were you going to say, Star?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying it's just like, I didn't think much of her up until this scene, and then, like, as soon as she runs up and takes center stage, like, right at the height of this song, and she, like, belts out this huge note, and I just, like, I saw my character ranking chart, and Junko was kind of near the bottom, and as soon as she hit that note, I was just like, whoop, bing! She's up at the top now.
Yep.
The meter goes up.
The meter goes up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Like, oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
My weakness. Deep voice idol.
But
yeah, no, I love her a lot.
So they start going through their song talking about resurrection and Returner and stuff like that. And what happens, but the worst possible thing, they get hit by lightning.
They like the whole stage gets struck by lightning right at the end of their song.
The whole stage, they just get fried.
Poor Ai.
But they're zombies, so it's fine. They come back and they're shining. They shine.
Yeah, they get like a techno, like, auto-tuned version of their first song. Yep. And it's really, really great because they're like literally glowing because they're charged up with electricity.
And they can shoot lasers out of their fingers now.
They shoot like techno show lasers out of their fingers every time they point.
It's incredible.
It's amazing.
It's great, because that's what happens when you hit zombies with lightning, and everyone loves it, and
they
Angels Descend is what the headline title is, basically. Angels Descend on Saga Rock. And so they've gained a huge amount of fans from this whole performance. It was great.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, so, like, the sun dramatically comes out at the end of their song, and the audience is cheering for them, and Kataro's watching from backstage, and he's like, yeah, they're real idols now.
Yeah, just as planned.
Just as planned. And only the magazine guy noticed it was really weird. He's like, wait, did I just see that? And like, are they not dead?
Did they just get hit by lightning? Are we not going to talk about this?
No, it was just some really good stage effects. That's all it was.
No, it's fine. It's a joke.
Yeah,
it's just stage stuff.
So yeah, episode 8, the best episode in the entire series.
No, the saddest episode. Ew, it makes me cry.
Oh, God. The Doki Dokis. I actually did like, I didn't cry at the end of this episode the first time I watched it, but I bawled my eyes out when I watched it this time. It's like, because you know what's coming, and you're just like, the sad Dokis.
So yeah, it starts, and you see that they're starting to, like, actually get famous because of the Saga Rock performance and, like, how well they did.
Because, like, they got a magazine article about them, and Ai is, like, still, I guess, sneaking upstairs to use the computer occasionally, and she's like, yeah, we've been doing pretty well online, and so things are looking good for our Idaroos.
And then it goes to a character that we haven't seen before, and it is a very large man. He's older, he has, like, darker, weather-worn skin. He is fucking huge, like, large as heck.
No, this dude
built
is like
a brick
mountain.
shithouse.
And he's, like, working at, like, a construction site or something, and, like, all of his coworkers are like, oh, hey, do you want to stick around and watch TV? And he's like, no, I don't like watching TV, and he goes out to lunch on his own.
And they're like, oh, Go-san never watches TV, like, it's bad, like, he thinks it's awful. And so you see him in a park just, like, somberly watching as a kid plays on the playground and tries to wave.
And, you know, the kid gets taken away by the mom, and Go-san, that's the guy's name, is all sad, but then he opens up the magazine and he sees the article about the Angels of Saga Rock and, like, freaks out.
It's like, because you notice that, like, he keeps missing seeing the group, because when he walks out of the room, he doesn't see the commercial for, like, Drive Ventori and stuff like that, but he finally sees, and he, like, you see, he glances at them, and he's like, whoa, what? Like, you just can't believe what he's saying. So something is going on.
Something's up! But yes, so we cut to the girls are doing a photo session, and it's very cute because based on the conversation in the previous episode, Junko is not there. Instead, they say, it's like, and instead of taking a picture, you can buy signed glamour shots from, what's her number? Like, number 6?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can buy signed glamour shots of number 6, and she's not there, which is cute and good based on the previous conversations.
Yeah.
So the big brick shithouse bald guy comes in, and Saki's very suspicious of him.
Yeah, Saki's like, this is definitely the mafia.
And then he gets in Lily's line, and they're like, oh shit, like, is he here to kidnap her?
He's like, wait, is he a fan? What's going on? He's gonna kidnap our tiny baby child.
Yeah. Either way, they just assume he's bad news, because he's, like, got a scar over his eye, he's enormous, wearing, like, work clothes. Dude looks like bad news.
And he gets to the front of the line, and he grabs Lily to hug her, which is not okay.
Yeah, because, like, already reiterated, it's like, hey, no touching, and so he's like, oh my god, is it you? Like, I thought, like, what's wrong? Like, you need to come back. And they're like, well, what?
Yeah, so Saki, like, fucking slow-mo kicks this dude in the head.
It's great, yeah, she comes in with a flying kick, and he goes across the room.
We cut to later, and all the girls, like, minus Lily, are chewing him out. He's like, don't you know that you can't touch kids?
And he's like, hey, I'm really sorry, I thought this was somebody that I knew, I realized that it was wrong, I'm gonna go now. And he was really apologetic about the whole thing, like, he is a nice guy, and he's like, I thought this was, like, he's really kind of vague about it, but he's like, hey, I thought I knew this person, but I guess I was wrong. But, like, to the point where they realized that he wasn't actually a bad guy.
Mm-hmm. He was a little bit of a possible misunderstanding.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so they go to talk to Lily later, and she's, like, really kind of freaked out about the whole thing. But she reveals that Go was her dad. Mm-hmm. Her pappy.
Pappy, yeah. It's so sad. He's like, that was my papa. And Sakura's like, Nani?
Yeah.
Nani, your puppy?
Yeah.
And then it's backstory time.
It is backstory time.
So yeah, like I said, we've been delving into character backstories, so now it's Lily's episode. It is
Lily's episode. Go used to be, like, super into television, as Lily was growing up, and so she decided to become a child star on the television in order to make her dad, like, really happy, and to make him happy from inside the TV, is what she was quoted as saying. Yeah, because they used to share it so much, and, like, even though Lily's mom was dead, like, they used to share so much through the TV and, like, their emotions together, and she wanted to make him happy by creating shows that he would like too. And so she becomes, like, super huge, this really big child star during her day. But, like, it starts getting harder and harder for her to be around, and she starts getting older, and things start kind of going downhill because she can't really be a child star anymore, and she wants to keep being a kid forever, and it creates kind of this problem back and forth between her and her dad.
Yeah. And so we see the scene of how she dies. And
it was kind of tough, coming at least from my perspective. So she actually kind of freaks out because she's in her room, and she's concerned because she's talking about how I don't want to, like, have to grow up, and, like, I want to stay a kid forever. And her dad reveals, like, hey, it's ridiculous, come on, we're gonna go, and, like, keeps calling her by a different name. And Sakura is kind of confused at this point, but she's just listening in. And then she realizes, like, looking in the mirror, that she has facial hair. And she's like, oh shit, oh fuck, and, like, basically has a heart attack and dies.
Yeah, so going through puberty, guess I'll die.
Yeah, but then it's also revealed to this point that Lily is trans.
Yep.
Like, canonically.
Lily is trans confirmed!
Lily is trans confirmed, and so it's like, oh shit, oh fuck, am I gonna relate to a character? Oh no, oh fuck. No, don't do this to me. And it's, like, concerning, because, like, anytime, like, anime handles a lot of this stuff, you're like, oh god, oh no, what's gonna happen? Am I gonna have to stop watching a show? But it's actually handled really cool for the show. Like, everyone, like, talks about it for a minute. It's like, wait, what? What's going on? And, like, what was the person you kept talking about? And Lily's like, oh wait, no, that was me. That was my old name.
That's what my name used to be,
yeah,
is what she says.
Yeah, and she's like, but I'm Lily now, it's fine. And so they bring it up with the director. He's like, yeah, I knew, but what does it matter? Like, no one cares. Is she not allowed to be a part of your little idol party now? Go away. And then just kind of slams the door.
Yeah, so the one thing is, like, so Saki kind of laughs a little at first just because, like,
the name was silly.
The names were so manly, yeah. And she's like,
and she's this tiny little babby princess, yeah.
This babby princess.
That has, like, this extremely masculine name, but then later on, Saki kind of turns around and is like...
she's like, what does it matter? Like, she's still Lily. Like, no one cares. Like, get over it. And then it's never brought up again, and it's great. Yeah, so the line in the English version is, she's still part of the group no matter what equipment she has. And it's even better. Junko just like, what does that mean? Oh, it's so great. And I'm like, oh boy.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So I don't know, that really hit me personally. Like, obviously I didn't transition at a similar time as she did, but at the same time, like, it was really nice seeing a show that was, like, actually supportive and cool about a lot of that stuff, and, like, having a similar character. And, like, there were a lot of memes around the time of, like, Lily holding a gun. It's like, fuck off, turfs, and that holds a special place in my heart.
Yes. Also, I think it was really charming that when Sakura was talking to her, Sakura's outfit said trans rights.
Yeah, like her shorts
really?
in a lot
I
of
didn't
scenes
notice
from
that.
then on, like, is actually the trans rights flag. Like, has the same colors. It's powerful.
I didn't notice that.
It's so
Incredible.
powerful. It's so good. Like, you look at her
I
shorts in
didn't
a lot of the
notice
scenes from that episode on, and it's got the pink, white, and light blue.
Aw, I didn't notice that.
It's so good. Like, I doubt it's on purpose, but it's really good.
But
what
but
if
it
it is,
it works
though?
so well.
but what if it is?
But what if it is?
Listen, we've discussed this. Trigger says trans rights. Lily says trans rights.
It's true.
French Choo says trans
The
rights.
two,
French Shushu says
the
trans
two good
rights.
anime. Yeah.
So after we find out about Lily's backstory, one thing she does say is like, because I'm dead, I'm a zombie, I'll never age, so this is actually kind of great.
Yeah, it's like, I'll be Lily forever, and it's fine. Like, I'll never have to worry about what's going on. Yeah, she was talking about the main conflict she had with her dad, is she was concerned her dad didn't actually love her, but it was more just the TV version of her. And so she was concerned that her feelings weren't really reaching him.
Yeah, we get this very, very sad flashback scene of, like, how hard her dad is working her, and they're, like, watching an interview that she did on TV, and he's fully focused on the TV, and tiny little Lily has, like, these dark circles under her eyes, and she's like, Papa, can we go to a park? And he's like, yeah, sure, once the TV show filming
But he's,
is
like,
over.
also
Oh, this
critiquing, like, the camera
baby!
angle didn't perfectly capture her, like, on the television. And he's like, yeah, sure, we'll go to that later. You have practice later, though, and stuff like that.
But yeah, and so then we get a scene of Lily, like, in the hospital after she dies, and the doctor is like, for her to die over something that small, she must have been under a lot of stress already. And the dad is like, oh, fuck, I can't believe I've done this.
And
I
so
can't
you
believe
see
I've
him,
done
he
this.
just, like, trashes the TV, like, with his giant hulking man hands.
He gives himself the scar on his eye just because
Yeah.
he grabs his face in anguish and, like, rips his eye
So
open.
you can see
and
how
it's just
broken
like,
up, but Lily doesn't know any of this. So, yeah. So you see him come back to the next fan event, and comes and apologizes, and he's like, hey, I thought you were somebody else. I'm so sorry. But I really wish I had a way in order to, like, apologize to the person I thought you were. He buys a shirt and is really cool about it, and he's like, hey, I'm gonna still be your fan.
Yeah, he has this conversation with her, and he talks about, he's like, I hope that your dad is a nice man, because I used to have a daughter, and she reminded me a lot of you, and I wasn't a good dad.
Yeah.
Anyway, bye!
And also the shirt he buys, because she's all like, oh, we don't have your size because you're a 5XL. I don't know this
5X.
for reasons. But then he buys an extra small in honor of his daughter, and you're like, oh, my heart.
Yeah.
Right to the Doki maker!
So she decides, hey, I'm gonna write a song, like, especially for him and invite him in order to, like, finally make sure that my feelings can reach him, even if I can't say who I really am. Mm-hmm. And oh my god, like, so
Like,
he gets
this
an invitation at his office, and you see him, like, running in last second to catch, like, their concert. Oh, the new outfits, the song, oh, it hits you.
It's the feels. Because all the other girls are like these fluffy, dreamy outfits, and they all have the pigtails and like
and,
Lily.
like, the little
And then
stars on the outfits.
And they have little stars.
Yeah.
And then Lily, meanwhile, has her hair kind of more down. And
She's got the
like
solo.
completely different outfit. Oh, and it's such a sad, it's like a goodbye song.
And Go is like
it's like,
sobbing
thank you,
in
but
the
goodbye.
background, and she's talking about how, like, she hopes that even though they might be apart, her feelings still reach the other person, and, like, you can tell, like, it's directed at him.
Yeah, she's, like, looking directly at her dad when she's saying these things.
And Sarah cried.
And Star's crying right
Athena
now.
cried. Yeah,
thinking
it was,
about it.
God, it was oof. Like, watching this... Yeah, because, like, the first time I watched this, I was not really out yet, and then watching this again afterwards, it was like...
And also, it's just a lot of, like... It again, it's revisiting the whole... how... It's revisiting how, like, grief and life and death and all of that, which is...
and a lot of emotions associated. So you see at the end, he likes TV again, like, he's learning to enjoy a lot of it, and you see he's watching the Drive-In Tory commercial and, like, smiling and clapping along.
And he also shows up at their concerts afterwards from now on.
Yeah, so he's also in the background
So
of
he's,
all their
like,
stage
learning
shows.
to enjoy things and, like, being with his friends again at work, and, like, yeah.
It's a lot deeper than we expected a goofy zombie show to go.
Yeah.
Yup.
Anime maybe wasn't a mistake?
The
Question
one
mark?
anime that wasn't a mistake.
This is the one.
This is the
This one
one.
is allowed.
Yep.
Well, you know.
Yep. So yeah,
Zombieland Saga, the only valid anime.
the only valid anime. This one and maybe Mob Psycho, but we'll get to that one later.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so episode 9. This is the Saki episode.
Saki!
Saki!
My girl!
Your girl.
It's her episode time.
It is.
Lead us in, Star.
Okay, so we open on a flashback with Saki and her biker gang partner who's got purple hair and similar highlights, and it's like early in the morning and they're like looking out over the horizon and they're just like having a conversation, and Saki's catchphrase is like, "There's no way in hell I'm gonna die. Besides, look at my Tamagotchi."
Yep.
And she's got them keys, and they have like these comically large, sparkly painted motorcycles.
It's so powerful.
And they ride off into the sunrise, and you see that like this is the aftermath of like a gang war, and so like there's like hundreds of like unconscious biker chicks around them, and they're just like, yeah, we beat all these dudes up, no problem.
It's so powerful. And you see in like the newspaper, it's 1997.
Yeah. And so we cut to the present, and the girls are going to a dance class with old folks because apparently Saga's mostly old people and they have to learn to connect to their audience better.
Yep.
So they're going to the Kashima dance, and the old people can dance pretty hard. They're pretty good.
Yeah, old people got it.
Yeah, this is a very wholesome little scene of like...
Yeah, it's actually really cute.
Yeah, of like all the girls like learning this quote-unquote old people dance, and they're like, whoa, this is cool!
Yeah, so they have a good time, but somebody's watching from the distance.
Dun, dun,
Yeah,
dun.
it's this girl, and she's like younger, and she's wearing like this like poncho jacket, and she has like light brownish hair and buns,
Little pigtail buns.
Yeah.
little pigtail buns, and she's angry.
She and her like other two girls like strut up to Sakura and yell at her for like being on their turf, and Sakura's like, "This is a public park. What are you talking about?"
Yeah, and like you look in the background and they're riding scooters.
They just have like these little pink scooters.
Yeah.
Little tiny mopeds.
Yeah, but and so you see the girl with the buns. Her name is Maria, and she turns around and like you can see that Saki is like, "Well, what?" when she sees what's written on the back, and you can't quite see what's going on with it yet, but Saki's like clearly recognizes it for what's going on.
So it turns out the leader girl of this little buns child, Maria, is actually the daughter of the original gang leader of Saki's bicycle gang.
The girl from the opening scene.
Uh-huh. I shouldn't say bicycle gang.
Motorcycle
Bicycle
gang.
gang.
That doesn't sound intimidating. Cha-ching, cha-ching. We're riding up on our little tiny bicycles. We're here to mess you up.
Though Saki rides a bicycle whenever
That's
she
what
needs
I'm
to go
saying.
to them in this episode.
I mean,
Like a
she
little-
does.
like-
But I'm just imagining, like, little baskets. He's like,
where else are you gonna keep your nail-studded bat?
Yep.
yeah,
You gotta
right?
keep
In
your
the
little
basket.
basket.
You gotta keep it. I'm just imagining like a bunch of a la a motorcycle gang, like encircling a bunch of people, like to be intimidating, but instead of the engines revving, it's just like the little bike bells going ching 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 ching. You messed with the wrong turf. Ching 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 ching. That's a good mental image for me.
I love it.
Anyway,
So yeah, it cuts to Maria and her two other little lackeys who are just really, they don't have their hearts in it. They're trying. They try so hard. But they're just like, maybe we shouldn't pick on people. You know, this is really bad. And Maria's like, but we gotta be in a gang. And you can tell she's like embarrassed about her mom and like how she doesn't have the nerve anymore, but she's gotta carry on. Dorami, which is the name of their motorcycle gang. And all of a sudden, a rival motorcycle gang pops in, and they're like legit motorcycle gang. And they're like super legit. They've got like these black and pink motorcycles. There's like 50 of them, and they just completely surround Dorami.
Meanwhile, Saki and the rest of the girls are driving past this. Saki sees gang action and is like, "Oh shit, don't start without me!" And she jumps out the door of the
She just-
moving van.
Yeet!
Just
Out the van.
Saki rushes in.
And so she ends up in the middle of this confrontation. She's like, "Yo, what's up?" And then this rival biker gang is like, "You're weird. We're gonna leave. We'll settle this
Cannot
later."
skip over the best character in this episode, being Misa, the rival gang leader, who can absolutely step on me. The other best character in this show.
Oh my god,
What?
Zena.
I'm not going to let that go, okay? She's the other best character. But yeah, they're basically like, hey, we'll settle this later. We're going to challenge you at some other points. We're going to finally settle this and destroy Dorami once and for all. So, like, they've got some past beef or something.
Yes.
it's theoretically like the next generation of the motorcycle gangs.
Yes.
And then this point, I think, is when Saki recognizes that Maria's mom is her old gang partner.
Because, like, the mom isn't there, but she's like, hey, do you have a mom? And Maria's like, shut up, you're weird.
Yeah, and she's like,
Yep.
shut up. You're not my mom.
So, we have a scene of Maria going home and seeing her mom, the ex-biker chick, and she's very much just, like, kind of a timid housewife.
Yeah.
And Maria just, like, berates her. It's like, you're so stupid and weak and I hate you. Meh. But Maria ends up getting a challenge letter in the mail. He's like, meet at the mountaintop at 10 p.m. tonight and we'll settle this. Dun dun dun.
Dun dun
Dun,
dun.
dun, dun. You see in a flashback that this is relevant.
Yeah, because, so we first have a scene of Saki is talking to her partner about what they want to do next. And so he's like, we've already conquered Kyushu. What are we going to do next? And Saki's like, I think we should conquer all of Japan. And then her partner is like, I kind of want to settle down and get married.
And Saki's like, but conquering Japan though, right?
Yeah, but the partner, I didn't write down her name and I should have.
Reiko.
But she says, Reiko, that's what it is. Thank you. She says, I don't want my kids to grow up the way I did.
Yeah, she wants a better life, basically, for her kids.
Yeah, we cut back to the present, and Saki hears a bunch of bike horns going up a mountain nearby, and she's like, oh, shit, they're gonna do a gang war without me. Like,
gotta go to the gang war.
No one does gang wars without Saki.
Yeah, so she hops on a bike and runs off. So we cut back to Maria's house. Her mom sees the challenge letter and is like, oh shit. So she goes into the garage and pulls the tarp off her old purple sparkly motorcycle. And she opens up like the secret drawer to get out her keys. And she has Saki's Tamagotchi on her keychain.
I know!
Oh! So good. Like, she never forgot. And you see in, like, the flashback that this is also the mountaintop where Saki died doing the exact same challenge that they're about to do.
Because what happens is, like, they play chicken. Is it like they have to drive towards the edge of this cliff, and the first person to
break and
zoom
pull
away
off.
from it, they lose. And Saki apparently went so hard that she drove her bike over the edge of the cliff, and it exploded and killed her.
Of course.
And so, of course, Saki's partner, Maria's now mom, saw this and was traumatized, quit the biker lifestyle because of this, and now is worried about Maria doing this exact same thing.
Yep, because she's so concerned. It's like Maria is going down the exact same path.
Yep. It's like, I won't let that happen to my baby girl!
Yep. So she arrives, like, just in time, pulling up in front of them, and is like, hey, please drop the challenge. I'll do anything. And Maria is concerned. It's like, why are you still so apologetic? I can't stand to see you like this, so weak. Like, how dare you do this? Like,
And then Saki shows up
on a bicycle.
Bing, ding, 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 ding.
And Reiko, like, totally recognizes her, and Saki's like, nah, wrong person.
no, who the
But,
hell
like,
is Saki? Like, what are you talking about? This is fine.
I don't think anyone does. Yeah, I don't think anyone believes her.
Yeah.
And Saki's like, I am the honorary president of Dorami for
I'm
the
the president for
so
a day.
I'm gonna do it.
Yo, I'm gonna borrow your bike.
Yeah, so let me borrow your bicycle and I'll do this challenge instead of you, tiny child.
Well, she gets, like, Reiko's big sparkly motorcycle rather than the scooter, though.
Yeah, and so she actually does, like, once again, she wins the challenge, but goes over the edge and explodes the bike.
Well, she does it on purpose this time, though. She's like, Ayo,
Yeah.
watch this.
But here's the thing, is Reiko saw her friend die in this exact same way, and then sees someone who looks exactly like her
I
friend
wrote
die
it down.
in
It's
this
like,
exact
this must
same
be
way.
really traumatizing for Reiko.
This is horrible.
Yeah, but then, of course, Saki crawls up over the top of the cliff out of the wreck and she's like, that kind of hurt.
Yeah, it's fine. She's like, yo, this stuff isn't legendary. You guys shouldn't be doing this stuff. This is lame. You know what's really legendary? And then they start an iDOL concert.
Yeah,
and they all have
basically.
biker iDOL outfits, and it's so
This
good.
is the best song in the show.
It's so
this
good.
Is the best song in the show. It's all like rock themed and like they've all got like
It's so
their
good.
biker jackets
They're talking
on,
about riding
and it's
off into
so
the sky, and like, yeah. Well, Maria and Reiko are just like, what the hell is this? While everyone else is really into it.
Yep. Yoroshiku.
I had it stuck in my head for like the past 3 days. It's so good.
Oh, it's so good. The song is called Toko Dance.
Yep.
Also online. You can
Also
listen to it.
online, yeah.
Also
And this is actually one of the few song and dance sequences that the girls are mostly standing pretty still.
it's 2D.
So the entire thing is 2D animated.
It's really good.
Yay!
Because my best girl deserves it.
Yeah, Saki.
Oh, also, there is one small thing I would like to point out in this episode.
Cool.
Like during this concert scene. So do you remember a couple episodes ago where we talked about how I like did a finger point at the sky and that's why she got hit by lightning?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
There's a part in this dance number where all the girls point up at the sky, but Eyes is like kind of tilted to the side a little bit.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Baby!
It's very subtle, but like her hand is slightly different from everyone else.
Oh no!
I didn't notice that. I only noticed it because someone in the YouTube comments pointed it out. And I was like, oh no, baby!
Oh, no! Poor baby. It's happened twice now. I mean, I get it, but oh no.
The trauma's still there, y'all.
It's still there.
Oh yeah, but I did write in my notes, this is the best song in the show, fight me.
It's
really
so good. No fighting, just agree.
No fighting, just vibing.
No fighting, just vibing.
It's really powerful. So yeah, that's episode 10 time.
Episode 10. So the girls are at practice.
They're all finally like getting along, like 10 episodes in.
Yep, because they've all had their various backstory episodes and they're all kind of getting along and it's all good. But Sakura still does not remember her past.
But they get a new announcement, not in the basement, because they are at the location. They are going to have a solo concert in a big venue, Alpino,
Arupino.
500
and it's
people.
it's a 500-person venue, and it's like the biggest thing that they've ever done solo.
And like I reminisces about doing a show here back when she was alive. And Sakura is like, I feel like I've been here before. And Sakura is really excited because she's like, if we perform here, maybe I'll be able to get some of my memories back. And she like has a little bit too much energy almost.
She goes a little too gung-ho.
So, Sakura gets like super excited. She starts not being able to sleep very much, and like she keeps rushing ahead in practice and like not paying attention to everybody else just because she's like, I'm finally going to do it. I'm finally going to find something out, and we're going to make it, and it's going to be so good. And, like, just so excited, and, like, she can't quite get it, though.
Yeah. So Kotaro comes to them, and he's kind of, like, noticed how she's been behaving, and he's like, hey, guess what, you guys? Training camp in the mountains!
And it's not like they go to, like, a nice mountain lodge, no. They just go straight up into, like, snowy mountains.
Yeah, because, like, this is the dead of winter, it's fucking snowy, this is not a resort, this is literally, like, they have to camp and survive up there for, like, a week.
Zombie survival.
He just kind of drops them off with them and their clothes, and that's it.
Yep. And, like, this episode is mostly just, like, camping shenanigans.
This is the camping episode.
While all of them are doing, like, camping stuff, like, all the other girls are like, let's forage for wood, let's go hunting. Sakura's like, I'm gonna practice by myself.
Because we have a show coming up. We need to be practicing, damn it.
Why are you hunting for meat and, like, fishing and doing all this stuff? And she keeps talking with people, and they're trying to give her advice as to, like, what they're doing and, like, why it's important. But she just keeps, like, trying to practice and, like, keeps getting more and more frustrated as to why they're not doing what she wants to do.
And so eventually, the camping trip is over. First half of the episode is done. So now they are all back and ready to practice. The concert's in, like, a week. But the girls are super out of sync.
Or rather, everyone's in sync except for Sakura.
Yeah, but at first it just looks like everyone's out of sync. And I keeps telling her, like, you need to slow down, you're going too fast. But Sakura is like, it's not my fault you guys are out of sync, because I'm the only one who's been practicing, and she storms out. We cut to Kotaro is at a restaurant, moping.
Yep. So Yugiri comes in to talk to him, trying to see what's going on, and, like, maybe how they might be able to fix it. And so this is like this weird conversation where, like, he's talking about how Sakura needs to be able to figure out, like, she didn't learn from the camping trip, but he can't just tell her. She needs to figure it out on her own in order to, like, grow as a person rather than what might be going on. It's like, if I just tell her, she's not really going to learn actually what's supposed to be happening. And it's like, I believe that she can get up there and, like, she can cross this metaphorical mountain as well as the literal one. Yugiri, like, slaps the crap out of him. She's like, how dare you not believe in her? Like, I know she can cross these mountains no matter what. And he's just stunned silence of, like, yeah, I just said that.
He's like, I just said that. You guys heard me say that, right?
It's
And this is like the second time this happens in the show,
It's so
where like
good.
Yukiri just goes in for the big slappy.
It's like, how dare you not believe in yourself? Like, I know you can do it. And she's like, but I did just say I believed in myself.
Like, I just said that.
It's like this very slow motion slap across the face. It's very powerful.
Yeah, like slap, 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 slap.
Slap.
It's so good.
But yeah, so then we cut back to Sakura, and she goes and she kind of like watches the girls through their one-way window, and all the rest of the girls are really in sync. And she realizes, like, oh, I was the asshole.
That time that they spent on the mountains was valuable after all.
Because they all bonded and learned how to work together.
Just like in that Love Live episode where they ended up on the mountains. Is mountains another idol trope?
I think it is. Sarah, listen, I am, for those who are familiar, I posted about this in the Discord chat yesterday. By the way, we have a Discord chat. We'll talk more about that at the end of the episode.
Join
but
the Discord.
I was trying to figure out, like, if we were to write a more specific cycle of the hero's journey specifically for idol shows, what would each of the steps be? I think training in the mountains is definitely one of them.
Sports is one for sure,
Sports.
too.
Main character gets sad for a little bit is, like, the
Beach.
darkest point.
I quit the band.
Beach/hot springs.
Yep.
It's a nut point.
Yep. Like, the first episode would be, or, like, the first step on the idol's journey would be, like...
Getting hit by a truck.
For this show, sure.
The villain's Dodecagon.
Going to Ueno Zoo and getting kidnapped by a gorilla.
Yep. First step of every idol.
That's how you get recruited into your idol. Refusal of the call
Refusal
is
of the call.
Ai and Junko leaving because they don't want to be like Zomb idols.
And the Dream Drop bucket
Zombie
is
idols.
where you put Dream Drop distance until you need it later.
See, I'm just trying to make literary references, and Athena's over
So
here
am
talking
I,
about
okay? I'm
Unraveled.
trying to help.
The villain's tridecagon.
The villain's Tridecagon.
Tridecagon.
Anyway,
So
You know
we're
what I'm
Sakura apologizes.
we're going through the tropes now, basically.
Yes.
Yes.
Is what I was.
So
Is the
Sakura
point
comes-
I was trying to make.
Maybe next season is where
Yes.
Xehanort shows up. We'll see.
But yeah, Sakura comes in and apologizes to the others, being like, yo, I was the dick. Mountains are okay. Sorry I was out of sync because I was only thinking of myself.
And they're like, "That's okay."
And you can see they all, like, really care, and, like, it's actually a really good apology. And she's like, hey, I realized where I was messing up, and I'm really sorry either way for how I acted, and let's all work together.
She's a good.
It's a good
bean.
moment.
Yeah, she's really good. And so the next day, she's all gung-ho, and she's motivated, and she's like, I'm going to get back in sync. I'm back in it. I'm not going to be
We're
sad
gonna
and
do
frustrated.
so
I'm
good
going to
at
go out.
Arpino.
I'm going to do a morning jog. And I is like, hey, just be careful about cars.
Gotta watch out for traffic.
And Sakura runs out the gate of their little house. And she gets hit
And
by
then
a truck
hits
again.
by a truck.
Truck-kun strikes again.
Truck-kun.
So she forgets everything, but remembers her past life.
Yep.
Which she did not remember before.
Which leads into episode 11.
Yep.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So, like, they have a week until the concert. Sakura's, again, lost all of her memories, but now remembers all of her past stuff. Like, her backstory.
Yep. So it's a mirror of, like, the first episode again, where she wakes up in the dark mansion and, like, zombies start popping up out of nowhere and looking and grabbing
Yeah,
for
she's,
her.
like, screaming and running through the house and running into the other girls.
And Tai is not helping.
Nope. Tai, like, chases her down.
Yep.
It's very much a thing. So Sakura passes out again. And then when she wakes up, Ai is there. And Sakura recognizes her. She's like, "You're Ai from Iron Frill." And Ai's like, "Yeah, hey, BTW, you're a zombie now? Do you remember anything?"
Yeah, you're totes
And Sakura's like, "No."
I got hit by a truck?
No.
It's like, yeah, you've been dead for 10 years.
Dun dun. But she does have a flashback memory of specifically the getting hit by the truck part. So at this point, her memories are all of her failures in life and then getting hit by a truck.
Yep. And so that's her sad backstory that we're gonna go into it. Sakura's backstory is very dark.
So, like,
Yes.
it starts off kind of humorous. It's like, oh, like, I keep being, like, I was a lead in the school play, and then I got sick the day of, and then, like, I kept trying to be on the track team, and I got muscle cramps, like, right at the opening ceremonies, and then, like, I tried to do this, and I keep messing up, and my bad luck always stops me from succeeding, no matter how hard I try, and, like, it might as well just not even try at this point, because why bother? Because it's just going to end up that I keep pulling myself down and everyone around me, and, like, you can see she's, like, severely depressed, and, like, this was her last chance. Like, she's like, I'm going to apply to be an idol, because I inspired me that, like, hey, maybe failures aren't such a bad thing. I'm going to go out. I'm finally going to apply myself one last time. Like, she says that. It's like, this is going to be my last shot at trying to make myself happy. Like, I cut myself off from everything. Like, academics, my friends. Like, I just don't care anymore. And then she gets hit by a truck trying to just even deliver her application. She's like, that's it. I'm done. Like, there's no point even trying with anything anymore. I'm dead. Screw it.
Yeah, I will admit, like,
up.
I did not remember this during my rewatch. I had completely forgotten about this plot point, and so it hit just like it was fresh again, and I'm like, oh god, Sakura, baby!
Seriously, it was like, it was hitting a lot of the same feels of, like, the worst times I've gone through depression of, like, yeah, like, it seems like all these unrelated events come through, and it's like, why even bother keep trying at this point? It's like... But yeah, no, it mimicked a lot of, like, the worst parts of depression that I've gone through, of, like, feeling kind of useless, and, like, everything you try is not worth going through, because you're just gonna keep failing at it, and it's...
And it's with the added, like, depth of her remembering and experiencing her own death.
And now she's literally dead, and it's like, what's even the point of going through these things? And now I'm just going to drag everyone else down with me, and it's, you guys don't need me. Why do you keep trying to drag me into this? I'm just going to pull the rest of you down. Like, someone who's experienced this wrote this part, definitely.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Like, I definitely went through, like, what you were talking about with, like, the whole no matter what I try, it kind of seems pointless thing that she went through. I went through that extremely recently. And so it's just like, oof.
Big oof.
Like, I'm not good at articulating thoughts on that subject, but it's just like, oh, baby girl. Oh, God, I want to just pick you up and hold you and tell you it's going to be okay.
And it's also really tough because up until this point, Sakura without her memories is like a very happy-go-lucky, bright, like cheerful person, and then
she's there for everybody else, and she's like there to inspire them and keep them going, and now it's like everyone else keeps trying to inspire her back, and she keeps just putting them off of like, nothing you say is going to change the situation, it's always going to be terrible, why are you even trying, like, and like keeps refuting them, and they're all hurt because Sakura was like the heart of their team, the center, like she was there for them, and they want to try and be there for her, but they can't.
Because like she keeps pushing them away.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's almost to the point where like you kind of think in the back of your head is like maybe she was better off without her memories, but like
I know.
No, it's really rough.
It's very, very difficult to watch her. And so there is one last scene of this show, of this episode, I mean, where she kind of has a mirror to the first episode where like she's just out kind of wandering. The cop sees her again, Kotaro chases him off, and so she and Kotaro kind of have a moment. And so like they're up at the top of the mountain, and he's like trying to give her this metaphorical speech. He's like, every single one of those lights, it's a person, and they all mean something to one another, and you mean something to all of the other girls, and you should never give up. And Sakura has this line of, don't give me hope. Hope is what got me killed in the first place.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
It was rough.
Then there's this one weird line that sparks something, and Kotaro just like, he's always been a screamy character, but he just starts screaming at her. He's like, you may not have what it takes, but I do, and I will never abandon you. And you're like, there's something there.
What?
There's
going on?
It's like there's a story here.
And there's also like a flashback that you see too of he knew her when she was still alive.
Yeah, he was a student at her high school, and we don't like see his eyes or anything. It's kind of like the creepy no eyes anime flashback look, but it's like we get like this 2-second like little snippet of her talking to him as a classmate, and it's just like, oh my god.
Yep. So
this is why. This is the fucking motivation, isn't it?
So there's a couple of really important things in this episode, too, that I wanted to hit on. So the first being that Yugiri talks to her earlier. She's like, hey, if the difference is that we succeed without you or that we fail with you, I would much rather fail with you anytime. And you can tell that starts to get through with her before she runs. Like, you can tell it's like she's trying not to think about it, but that really did hit her.
Yeah, and then there's similar thing. There's a line that Ai says. You see her like watching an interview with Ai when she was still alive, when both of them were still alive, where Ai says is like, I just never think of failures as a bad thing because failures is how you grow. And that's some real shit right there.
And you get to be the best you get to be the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
And that's like her watching Iron Frill on TV is like what inspired her.
Mm-hmm. And so like I actually like repeat that line to her in person. It's like, you can't think that all failures are bad things because that's how you become better.
Yep.
And I'm like, that's the real shit
and that's
right
like
there.
What
That's
starts
the real
to get
shit.
through to her. And another thing too is you see that at some point Kotaro goes to this weird bar. And I looked up some stuff about this, and it's actually kind of like deep lore stuff. So you see at the point he's talking to this random bar owner that was not named. And he's like, hey, take care of Yugiri, you better not do anything weird, haha. It's like, I owe her a lot. And it's like, wait, Yugiri was alive before all this, and Kotaro might not have been the person who made the zombies, or at least, like, didn't discover all of this. Like, it's mentioned, and you see the bar master is, like, munching on squid. So I looked up what the name of the bar was and, like, some stuff. So the name of the bar is Bar Nujofuku. The name of the bar, Nujofuku, is a clear reference to the legend of the same name in Saga Prefecture. Jofuku is the Japanese name of Shufu, Qixin Huang's court sorcerer, who is ordered by his chief to search for the elixir of the immortals on top of the mythical Mount Pengai.
What?
Yeah,
Deep lore?
What?
I looked this up because I'm like, there's something here.
Bugged me.
They looked at the sign for a minute for like a reason. There's something here. So yeah, he's related to the zombie thing for a reason because he's related to immortality.
And Saga itself is related to the zombie thing.
Yes, and it's related
the
to
legend
Saga.
comes from Saga.
Oh
What?
my
Yes.
god!
So it's
What?
related to greater Japanese like mythology in Saga itself.
Athena coming in with these deep history
Yeah, and I know
facts.
Qixin Huang.
All I wrote down is that he
yeah.
looks like he could be Joseph Joestar from the back. This is a much better take.
It's also related. He's also a Joestar, but
He's also a Joestar.
But yes,
Secret
you just
Joestar.
got to look for the star somewhere on his body. But
Oh my God.
yeah, I'm thinking in season 2 he's probably going to be way more important. But
Probably.
he looks like he's also partially responsible for zombies, and he definitely knows Yugiri, and Yugiri was probably around long before the whole events of whatever's going on here.
This deep lore is so exciting to me.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's exciting. I did not know.
So there's
that.
your deep lore for this episode.
That was just like a fucking weird scene, and I'm like, what was that?
Yeah,
Maybe
no, it's
we'll
a
learn
deep
more about
lore
that later.
Because it was there to set up that this is how he started getting funding, because he talked to the guy, and he already knows about the Zombieland Saga project. He's like, hey, how's this whole zombie thing going on off the side of the highway? And he's like, no, it's to save Saga, and like it's called Zombieland Project. And you're like, wait, what? Title drop. And so, yeah, I think this is probably going to be more relevant in season 2, but I felt like that was worth bringing up, because...
Thank you for bringing
No
it up,
problem.
Athena.
Thank you for blessing us with your sacred librarian knowledge.
No problem. See,
Shall we get to the last episode? Episode 12?
Last episode!
So yeah, Sakura is still sulking in the practice room while everyone else is going, and they keep being like, hey, did you see us? How did we look? And like she keeps having these flashes of inspiration, but like she's trying to keep herself down of like, no, I can't keep giving myself hope. I can't keep doing this. Things are just going to keep going wrong. And like even Tai is trying to cheer her up at this point, and just nothing is working.
I know! Tai is so sweet. She just comes
know,
in and like...
You can tell because like even Tai at this point is like trying so hard. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So they go to like this meet and greet, right? And like Sakura like is handing out flyers and stuff, and you can tell she's not into it, but these people come up and it's like, oh my god, number one, we love you, like your singing and your dancing helped inspire us, and like we love you so much. And like
It's very good.
like they shake her hand and she's like, how could I have done that? Like the me like in these pictures isn't me, and like how could she be so silly as to think this would work? But yeah. So, like, at one point, she's moping upstairs, and Tai literally busts through a window, grabs her,
And then she just motivational grunts at her.
and is, like, forcing her to do the practice with her. And then you see a flashback, and it's, like, similar to how Sakura was teaching Tai to dance in the very first 2 episodes.
It's very good.
It's like, no,
It's very,
like,
very
even Tai
good.
is trying so hard, even though she's got such limited, like, mobility and capacity.
And then all the girls start talking about how Sakura has always been the one that held them together, and that they've helped her, or she's helped them, and they need to help her.
Yeah.
And then Sakura's just like, I don't care. Why do you care about
Why
this?
do you want me? And it's like, so Yugiri slaps the shit out of her.
Because of course she does.
And she's like, don't you see that, like, we're a team and we need to do this together, and, like, how much we actually care about you. And, like, finally they're starting to get through to her.
Mm-hmm. It's very, very emotional.
Yeah, and no matter what, it won't matter if we do this without you because of how much we care about you, like, as a person. It doesn't matter if we have bad luck together.
It's very good.
And so at the end, you see they're all in a big cuddle pile all together when they're going to sleep.
I know, they skin a cuddle puddle at night.
Mm-hmm. Just like a little zombie pile.
Little zombie cuddle pile. It's so sweet. And they're just all snuggling, and even Ty is snuggled in with them. It's so good.
A big thing you see, too, is, like, they're finally practicing together, and, like, Sakura's finally getting into it, and she's doing really well. And they're like, oh, your muscle memory must still retain a lot, because you practiced the most out of all of us.
Yeah, which is, like, a big fucking stretch, but it's great.
But, like...
Yeah, it's fine. It helps explain idol anime logic, which is really fun.
She gets really into it, and all of a sudden the mirror in front of her cracks, and she's like, I knew it, like, this is worthless.
But then Saki comes in and fucking punches the mirror.
It's just like, we're in this together, I don't care. Let's see what happens when all of us get bad luck together.
Fuck your bad luck.
I love Saki so much.
She's so good.
I love her.
We love our leader.
So it's the day of the Alpino show, and it's starting to snow.
That bad luck is really coming together.
Bad luck is coming together. There's a news forecast saying that the snow is going to escalate into a really bad snowstorm, the worst that Saga's ever seen.
But people love them so much that, like, all of their fans are there, and it's like a packed house. You see all the people that, like, they've played for, and, like, all the people they've touched, like, their biker gang friends, and, like, the old people, and, like, the school kids, and, like, everything. So many people show up.
Yep, and they're just, like, all out in the cold, like, shivering. It's like, they'll let us into the venue soon, we gotta see our girls!
But, like, they've been that touched by Franchushu that they're gonna show up anyway.
Mm-hmm. And so, it's time for the concert, and everybody's inside, and the girls take the stage.
And they've got cute new outfits!
Yes, these are so cute!
And they're, like, inspired by Sakura! They've got, like, her hair bow as, like, an inspiration on the skirt.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good!
It's very good, it's very good. But yeah, so the song starts. Sakura is still feeling kind of self-conscious and worried about screwing up, but she keeps remembering what her friend said to her the day before.
And she's, like, keeping that in mind.
Mm-hmm. But the song starts, and the snow on the roof starts bringing down the building. Yep. Like, the support struts are shattering, and, like, they're breaking in through the windows, but they're like, keep going, the show must go on. And eventually, just, like, the entire back wall just fucking collapses, and the stage goes down.
Yup!
But, like,
incredible.
Even, like, everything cuts out, but you see, like, all the other girls start coming up, and it's, like, the part in the song where they're talking about, no matter what, again and again, they're gonna keep rising up no matter what. Because of course it is.
They're singing a cappella because the audio is broken.
Yeah.
And you see Sakura, she's just, like, laying there. She's the only one who hasn't stood back up yet.
She's like, I can't do it. I knew this was gonna happen. This is horrible. But, like, everyone else is getting up and keeps continuing to sing until finally she gets up and sings her part. And then the lights and the music come back on.
And they finish the song, and it's such a fucking jam!
It's such a banger! And, like, it's just, like, they're, like, the wrecked scene behind them. It's very good. It's so exciting.
Powerful. And so, like, they're in the back, and they're, like, as they're dancing and singing in the second part, Sakura starts to remember everything.
Yeah, you start to see, like, her little tiny... she gets, like, little flashbacks, like, to the beat of the song of, like, stuff that's happened in previous episodes. And then after they get off stage, she's like, I think I got my memories back.
Yay, Sakura!
And, like, Ty's, like, attached to her head like a brain slug.
Yeah. And so they go out and they do an encore, and we get a whole second song and dance number, and it's also very good.
That's the credits, yeah.
Yeah.
And we have one little epilogue scene
after the final song
of that weird reporter dude once again, and he's got a picture of all the Franchushu girls and then a picture of the 3 celebrity characters, which would be Ai, Junko, and Lily, like from times when they were alive. And he's like, but what does this mean?
He's like, what the hell is going on?
What does it mean?
And then just cut to black.
Yep.
The end.
And that's Zombieland Saga!
Zombieland Saga!
Woohoo!
We did it!
We did it. So we already kind of talked about Best Girls, but upon further review, Best Girls?
All of them.
Best Girls.
All of them.
They're all so powerful in their own way, right? Of, like, you have the people you really adore, which is all of them.
Like, they're all wonderful for different reasons. Like, there's not a single character in this show that I dislike.
No.
And I also like how they all got a lot of screen time.
Yeah,
Yes.
because Yugiri could have gotten more.
Except for Yugiri, that's right. She did not. But
like, there are definitely some they're saving for season 2. Like, there's some that are like shrouded in mystery, right? Like, we don't know a lot about Tai's backstory.
Yugiri and Tai.
So she's kind of relegated to comic relief right now. We don't know a lot about Yugiri, because, like, obviously that's probably going to be revealed in season 2. We don't know a ton about Kotaro's backstory, because probably, like, that was only, like, episode 12. It was like, oh, hey, he also knew Sakura. And it's like, oh, that explains a lot of his actions now. And so, like, yeah. So we don't know a ton about certain characters, but they're probably going to reveal that later. So we'll probably get their solo episodes later. I don't know.
But yeah, so final thoughts. This show has been confirmed to be getting a season 2 at some
recently.
point.
Mm-hmm. I think they said 2021 in the PV, so very soon.
I'm so excited.
So freaking excited. Also, but so Yugiri did not get a whole lot of screen time in the show, but right after the show ended, they did give her a fucking banger of a single. Have you guys listened to Saga Jihen?
It's so good.
Oh my god, it's fucking jazzy as hell.
She has the perfect voice for it. It's so good.
Yep. Ugh, love her.
No, I already like her as a character. I like her, like, as a singer. Like, it's so powerful.
Okay, but real question though, real talk, when are we cosplaying this show, you guys?
Immediately.
Right?
You know who I'm cosplaying, so yeah.
We're gonna, we have to cosplay Zombieland Saga after we die and are reincarnated, because otherwise we're just posers.
Well, I'm already there, so it's up to you guys.
Athena's going full spooky.
Full spooky!
I'm full spooky
Haunted Cursed October!
This is my one day of the year. I'm resurrected in order to do podcasts with you guys.
Excellent. So you will be joining us for next Halloween also, is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Fuck yeah, we gotta figure out.
Incredible.
It's very far in advance, but listen, we've had our April Fool's joke episode planned out for like 6 months already. So I don't think it's too early to start thinking about next Halloween, Cursed Idol October.
Exactly.
So
let's do it.
We'll figure it out.
You gotta come back once a year. She rises from the grave. And you know, hey, I wonder if Zombieland Saga Season 2 will be up next year.
You know?
Season 2.
If Zombieland... Okay, we are putting this out there into the universe now. If Zombieland Saga Season 2 is out by the time we have to do our next year's Cursed Idol October, that's what we're doing.
Yes, and I will be there.
Incredible. Definitely.
But even if it's not, Athena, you gotta come back and visit us for Halloween.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
I will resurrect my wife.
Yep.
It's like, I drew a cute cover picture for you. You
so
gotta
excited.
come back and reuse it at some point.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's the law.
It's the law. So
it's the law.
So hey, we have a couple of announcements. First and foremost is we have a Discord chat now.
Whoa, what's a Discord?
It's a chat room where you guys can come and talk to us, me, Sarah, and Athena. We're all members of it, and we've got, like, at the time of recording this, we have like 25 people in the Discord already, and we've got like different little chat rooms where you can talk about your best girls.
There's so much
You can talk to me about seasonal anime, because there's a lot of seasonal anime I watch, and I don't have anyone else to talk to.
Yeah, so like, we're in that Discord chat like all the time, so if you guys want to talk to us and just like hang out with some other Idol fans and like talk about the podcast and talk about not the podcast, talk about new Idol anime, talk about cool stuff, please come hang out with us on the Discord. We posted a list, a link on our website and both of our social media platforms. Sarah, would you like to tell us where we can find our social media platforms?
Our social media platforms on both Twitter and Instagram, we're at IDOLDaysPod. That's at IDOLDAYSPOD. And Star, do you want to share about where our website is?
Yeah, our website actually just got a little bit of coat of fresh paint. I went in and updated the episodes page, so now there's pictures and synopses for every single episode.
Ooh.
And links to where you can listen to it.
Star, you know that if you paint on your monitor, it doesn't show up on the website for other people, though.
Oh, fuck. Fresh coat of figurative paint. But yeah, so
okay.
Our website is idoldays.card.co, so it's idoldays.carrd.co, and you can find bios of all of us. I might sneak in one for Athena now that she's our official Halloween spooky guest.
Spooky!
And there's links to where you can listen to our podcast on every platform, and also maybe a couple of Easter eggs I snuck in there for funsies.
Ooh, Easter eggs.
Oh, but Sarah, do we want to maybe hint at what's coming next for the show? because
Well, coming up next, we are out of Cursed October, probably, for the most part.
For the most part, it's
For the most part.
idols are always cursed a little bit.
Just a little.
Always, anime itself is already a little cursed.
Anime is cursed always.
Anime is very
But yeah,
cursed.
because I believe based on the schedule we hashed out a few weeks ago, the next show is going to be one that you watch and tell me about.
Yes, and it is one I have already watched, but I watched it back when it came out, which was a while ago at this point now.
I mean, it was many, many years ago. Like, I think we were in college when you tried to get me to watch this, and I hated it.
And it is season 1 of a show that has had multiple seasons since, that I have not seen the follow-up seasons, but it is popular, and it is boys. And that's the hint I will give.
Geidel shows again.
More Geidels!
Yep. So because this is a show with like 4+ seasons, it's not going to be one where we just do all the seasons at once. It's going to be like we just kind of come back, poke at it every couple episodes, and then so we're doing season 1, and then maybe in a couple episodes we'll do season 2 when we feel like it. But for now, we're just focusing on the first season.
Yes.
And then after that, you and I are coming back together for a special Thanksgiving episode, because that's around the time that will be coming out.
Oh yes, special Thanksgiving episode, and we will give you a big sankyu. That's our hint.
Oh.
Kind of.
Yeah, and then so after that, I am also staying on the Geidel shows, because there's one I've been meaning to watch for a long time that I've been chomping at the bit to do. And I'm finally going to watch the damn thing, and I'm excited about it.
Woohoo! So look forward to November.
Yep.
Chomping at the bit, so obviously it's Baby Shark.
Baby Shark do 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 is
And
top
that's
idol do
enough.
do 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 do. Baby Shark do 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 do
And
do.
we've been Idol Days, the show about idol anime.
And Baby Shark.
And Baby Shark.
We have a very topical podcast, Sarah.
It's very topical.
It's true. Thank you for joining us for Cursed October.
And thank you for listening to this episode of our podcast.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And thank you for joining us, Athena.
Of course, thank you so much for having me.
Team Ass must now disband until this time next year.
I'm quitting the group.
Now we'll just be Team Az.
Just Team S.
Team S.
Team
Oh, yes.
To Sarah and Star. We cannot be we can only be Team Ass the one time a year that Athena joins us.
It's true. I do bring the booty.
The one time when she rises from the grave.
The ultimate trio. All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. We've been Lady.
We've been Lady.
See you next
live.
live. Bye.
Bye.